Sorry, what was it? What was you just said?
The me, Jim, and Kyle 3-way.
Oh,
the
what?
what?
I mean, I haven't got on air yet, so this is all between us. What's this 3-way? But you, Kyle, and Jim? I'm fascinated.
Yeah, I'm interested too. I've never heard this.
Well, that's what I thought we were going to hash out the details. You know,
Jim,
before
you
we went on
floated
air
the
or
idea
anything.
earlier.
I tell you what, you and Kyle get started, and if I don't show up, start without me.
You got it.
That doesn't sound very engaging.
Sure it does. They would be definitely engaging with each other.
So, anyways, guys, excuse me, I've got a little cough coming on.
Gotta play a game of one pole up.
Oh,
You know, what's there?
I can't reveal my actual plans on live. Yeah.
Well, let's dive into this real quick. By the way, so people maybe be joining us. Well, I guess I better turn on my camera so I can say hi. So we just got done talking to Graham Oppy on Agnosticism and atheism. I got to tell you, I'm still a little starstruck. He's been somebody I've really enjoyed reading his stuff and corresponding with for quite some time on Twitter. And he was nice enough to engage in real time with us. He's been in Hangouts before, but he's never been in one of mine. So that was a big score for me, and I'm quite happy. And it went exceptionally well.
For somebody who might not be familiar with his work, Steve, what do you recommend getting into first?
Well, two things. One, atheism and agnosticism. It's a very short free book from Cambridge. It's part of the Elements of Philosophy or Elements of Religion, Elements of Philosophy of Religion series. And also he has another one that talks about the justification for atheism. But I don't remember the name of it though. I hadn't read
atheism, the basics.
Atheism basics, right? And it's so funny because people are like, oh, well, there's not much to atheism. It's just somebody who doesn't believe. And yet, if you actually read the material, there's books written about this stuff. A lot of stuff revolves around this particular topic. But we are going to have a quick after show. I got some of the same people in here. And I got Jim Majors again from the Atheist Republic. Who's stuck on knowledge. I've got Klaus. I got, did I get that right?
Klaus.
Awesome. And I got Ocean, I got Time, Brian 1 and Brian 2. You guys figure
which one's one and which one's two?
The guy on the left is Brian.
I can just tell you which one's top and bottom.
You have a Bri-I and a Bri-Y?
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. Brian on the far end, he might be vying for Kyle's affection too. I don't know.
Brian why?
This is going to become a death match before too long.
I want to see the fight.
No.
Yeah, me too.
I'm down to see the fight.
I'm
waiting
down
for
to
it.
participate in the fight. It's worth it.
Wait a minute.
All I know is I'm pegging the
Why?
winner.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Don't forget, affection can lead to wet pants.
We're venturing into territory I didn't realize we were going to get into.
Yeah, it's okay. Like
This is where we always
I'm
start,
not
isn't it?
competition with none of you for Kyle's affection. I assure you. I love Kyle, but not in the ways that you guys do it to Pierce.
It's purely aesthetics. It has nothing else to do with.
It's platonic.
Yeah. There's actually no emotional attachment whatsoever. I just want to be his friend.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. That's where you all. You know what? I'm not really attracted to you. I just want to be your friend. People that friends of themselves are full of shit.
And nothing like friends with benefits, though, is there?
Yeah, how much benefits do you want, Jim?
401k would be nice.
That's a good benefit.
Dental. Can we get
dental?
I don't know if time gets in on this, maybe.
I'll throw $20 at it.
Hell yeah! Give me some Blue Cross Blue Shield going on. We got a deal.
This is why I try to invite as many women as I can for this very reason. Like Sugar.
They fawn over Kyle.
Where's Sugar? Sugar's in the live chat right now.
She's got the invite.
Sugar, get your booty in here. I know you're listening.
So, anyways, I don't know how much time we have. I can't talk loud.
Joined by any other.
What, Klaus?
Joined by any other name is still a joint.
Somehow I knew I was going to get called into this.
You know what?
You knew.
When we summon you, you appear.
It's like flies to sugar almost.
You have to, the women should obey men.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, First Timothy something.
Did you bring me a sandwich this time?
Yes, I brought a sandwich for all of you, gentlemen.
Oh, you are the best woman.
Oh, thank you.
This is why everybody loves you.
Now feed it. Now feed it to me.
Oh yeah, talk dirty.
You're gonna eat 8 sandwiches?
Why not?
I eat sandwiches. I got some grapes I want you to peel as well.
Man, I've been fasting all week just so I can grapes and just starve a little bit more.
Mm.
Do you want to feed her sandwiches? Is that? How about this? How
All
about you feed her
right.
sandwiches while she does ASMR?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
thank you. No, thank you.
I wish I had
As,
one of
as,
those
long, as, as long as
microphones.
the ASMR is like her biting into those really super crisp grapes, like the really dark ones, and they just like
Yeah.
pop. Like that's
Because
perfect.
Well,
Oh.
what we're gonna do is
Should I start doing mukbangs? ASMR mukbangs?
well,
What the
we're
hell
gonna
is mukbangs?
It's
Yeah.
eating videos.
Oh.
Eating videos?
do. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
that's
with your mouth closed though, right?
horrible.
Is it wrong
No,
to eat grapes in the shower?
No.
So I think what we should do is we should have a playoff for your affections for Kyle, and maybe have a game like Flavor Flav. Who knows Kyle best, and the winner gets to do whatever they want. with
Who,
Kyle.
Sugar?
No, fuck Sugar.
Yeah,
My mother.
Well,
fuck me.
I love this, by the way, Kyle. They're all like getting wet over you before you show up. And
My mother
once-
knows me best.
Once Sugar shows up, then it's all about Sugar. And now you're here. Now it's-
Kyle's here. Hi, Kyle.
Yeah, look at
Please
this.
don't make it about me.
Hi, Jim.
I didn't even see you. I had Sugar's picture up until you came here, but now yours is up. Hi.
And you're in a tank top. Ooh.
This section.
Oh,
Moving
I did
question
this.
is-
I did this just for you.
I didn't even
stop
know
it. You didn't know I was
Kyle was
coming.
going to be here. I was.
Neither did I.
Oh, you
And
guys are.
Really good at this.
Hey, Kyle, go watch the first 3-4 seconds of this video.
No, don't. No, don't.
No, yes, you
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go watch it. Go seriously.
And then you give us your input.
Yeah, give us your input.
How do I do that?
It's on DVR. You just go back to the beginning.
Yeah, just like
You
stop
say in
this.
foot or in foot.
It's the two backwards triangles.
Jim, we're moving in a good direction. Let's not screw that up, okay?
All right, let me paraphrase. The very first thing on this
But
video
they're equalateral triangles, baby. They're equalateral.
is time talking about a potential
Call me
three-way
baby.
with
Did
you,
you catch that?
Jim, and Kyle. Well, with time, Jim, and Kyle. So the very first thing on this video is
Thank God you left me out of that.
We could make a movie and call it Killing Time.
There we go. Wait, what?
That's good.
Just leave 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's about the first 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah. I'm interested too. I've never heard this. That's what I thought we were going to hash out the details.
I'm just going to turn my camera off. I've got something that I need to do today.
I thought you'd be appreciative of that. Kyle.
Kyle's got to have a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
We can call it that. We can call it that.
Oh.
Bowl of cereal.
Yeah, I thought
Y'all
you
are
would get
dirty.
appreciative of that. Hey,
I didn't say
What even
shit.
is this, Steve? What even is this right now?
This is just an after show hangout because we had Dr. Graham Oppy on earlier.
Yeah, the after.
But I knew it wasn't going to be very long.
This is
Kyle, it's a lot of
After
philosophy
dark.
nerd shit.
Well, we eventually will.
Why the fuck am I in here then?
Because they wanted you. They were
Yeah.
lusting over you.
Your
Kyle, your
input
looks great today.
Kyle, there's
Always
pretty much a
right.
universal desire for your body in this room. So
I mean,
and
we all
mine.
can universally have it. It's not a commodity that is
It's not a zero sum.
it's
enough
a
to go around.
tangible thing. You can actually tangibly reach out and get this.
I think it's
Oh,
more. It's more about your
No,
affections
no,
than your body.
Did that sound desperate? Did that
Yeah.
sound desperate?
Exactly how were you supposed to do this?
Kai, you got to make it. You got this. Let me explain to you. You got to make it a little bit of a challenge, right? You can't just give it up so easily.
I'm way
No,
too
yes,
old for
you
that.
can.
Steve.
Shut up,
I'm way
Steve.
too old for that. Just give it to me. I'm totally to that phase
he's,
now.
he's a slut. Go ahead.
It's too much work playing hard to get and like just we both know what we want. Let's just give it to each other and
Sugar, has that ever worked with you? Have people ever done that with you, or have you done it with them?
Just give it.
Absolutely.
Are you talking to me?
How many people named Sugar in here?
I'm really
Honey,
glad I'm not wearing
men are
pants anymore.
Oh.
men are talking. I mean, men are talking. I didn't
That's
want to
true. Know your
interrupt.
place. Know your place.
Right, exactly.
By the way, look at Sugar books. You know,
Sorry, I
some-
was-
Yeah, I saw your books. It's pretty nice. Nice green screen. You need better lighting around your hair. Anyways,
Shots.
I love you,
fired.
babe. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
God
Yeah,
damn.
we get everything.
I
Today,
think I'm ready for this.
I was getting gas today, and I was standing by the car, and there was a guy working on the pump there, and like he just came over, and he's all, "What's up, babe?" And I'm like looking at him like, what the? Who are you talking to? I mean, I'm getting gas, buddy.
Jim, we need to work on our pump too, I think.
He
Work
wanted-
on your pump.
He wanted to fill up more than his car, clearly.
I guess.
Ah.
I was
I feel
nice.
outnumbered. You know, I'm the only one from Australia.
Congratulations, Steve. This hangout is officially fucked.
Yeah, exactly. It's because he invites me in, and I don't know why. You know, I'm a room killer.
No. You're
W-
awesome.
We started off on the right foot, at least.
I do come.
And
in
now we're
for
all
the-
on our backs.
We had good.
Hey, that's a good
intentions.
place. I do come in for some good debate. You know, not debate, but conversation. I can't really debate with you guys, but I can have a conversation.
You found that in this particular channel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need a lot
Right.
less. Yeah, we need a lot less conversation, a little bit more action.
Yeah, thank you, Elvis. Oh. Yeah,
Pass the
action.
joint around.
Well,
Well, I-
missionary or doggy? If we want to debate,
Hmm.
let's go there.
I'm noticing Brian 1 here has been awfully quiet, being muted over here. Brian 2, take your pick. I don't give a shit which one he is. The statistician guy.
I'll mute.
Why are you so quiet, Brian?
I'm just listening in.
You have a say in this. You,
Oh
you-
my God, it's the other
he's-
he,
handsome
he
guy.
thinks you're gorgeous as well.
Yes,
he's-
it's the other handsome guy.
He's extrapolating data to form a statistic. Just leave him
This
alone,
is, this is
Steve.
like
Come
Kyle's
on.
fantasy.
Brian, why are you not on camera?
Sugar and I look we're
Say
like,
something to
Wait.
offset the objectification.
if Sugar and I left to go get
Y'all send
coffee,
the camera on.
you'd be in heaven, wouldn't you, Kyle?
What are you doing with your camera off, Brian?
Turn your camera on, you sexy stud muffin.
I turn it on. It's completely black.
It looks just like Tom Cruise. It looks just like Tom Cruise.
Dude, how many times have
Before he
I
went crazy. Before he went crazy. You have to make that distinction now.
He should have been an actor. He has that look of an actor. I thought originally when I first met him, he was some soap or something.
Well, I appreciate it. I just make YouTube videos doing statistics. That's what I do.
Steve, you almost got me. For a split second, I looked up and I was like, "Damn, Steve got a lot of books." And then I was like, "No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't."
Hey, 100 points to whoever's wearing actual real pants right now.
Oh,
Oh, I
Yeah.
failed that miserably. I never
Count
wear
me
pants.
out. Count me out.
Never wear
I'm,
pants.
I'm in fucking pajamas.
I kind of
I'm-
figured you dirty asses.
I am in
figured.
Andrew Christian boxer brief.
Oh,
right now.
I'm totally in sweats right now. I'm not. I've got pajama pants on. I totally changed and because I went out for a little while, but yeah, no, I'm in sweats, dude.
Pants are for the weak.
Yeah,
I'm
pants are
agnostic from the
required.
waist up and
I'm-
anti-theist from the waist down.
I was in a jacket. I was cold as shit.
This is not good for me to be.
I'm not even trying from the neck up. Why would I try from the waist down?
I am.
You're looking pretty good from the neck up, Tom. I'm kind of wondering what it looks like below the shoulders.
Well,
my hangups have
You'll
changed
find out when me and Kyle set this up.
a lot.
Oh, pan that shit down. Pan that shit down.
the poor audience right now.
Yeah, right.
How many people are watching this catastrophe of just
I don't know.
8 horny individuals that need to get laid?
Too damn
You're-
many. At the
You're
moment.
either turning them on or turning them off in a major way.
Oh, that's usually how it works.
Both
Well,
can
we-
actually happen at the same time.
There is
From
nobody
what I
around.
noticed, we were at like 24 people. Now we're at 50 and going up. So apparently somebody's entertained.
Well, you saw
Just means
earlier
people like it, and we should
100
continue.
120,000 people like Flat Earth ASMR of a man just stroking a
is-
globe.
There was people that
What?
had been exposed to that before. They're like, "What? What the hell is this? This is legit." We're like,
Oh,
"Yeah."
Can I
really-
show that video, Steve?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me pull it up. You guys have to see this.
What you mean, ASMR being real or flat Earth?
Oh no, Flat Earth ASMR. I decided to do an
Holy
experiment.
cow.
I was like, I'm gonna take the 2 cringiest things that I've ever dealt with while doing YouTube, and I'm gonna see if they exist together. And lo and behold, they do, which gave me a really awesome idea for a new game that we're gonna play next week, where the audience member is going to answer questions and give us 2 words, and then we're going to put those 2 words with ASMR and find out if it exists or not.
Oh, I love it.
Um,
My
Flat
my
Earth-
king.
is it
my king
Flat Earth or
K-pop
ASMR?
Yeah.
The
So
answer
okay,
is yes.
so here we go. Let me share my screen real quick, so you guys can see this.
Be prepared. The cringe is real.
I'll just show you this one.
Cringe is real.
Okay, here we go. Asmartica. Get it for Antarctica?
ASMR.
It wasn't too bad.
Now let's let's go through this. Notice the you'll see in just a second. Hold, wait for it. Wait for it.
I don't.
Boom. Boom.
We can't hear it though.
Yeah, we can't hear it, Kyle. We can
Is
hear
is that a texture globe?
You're gonna have to do your best impersonation of what's going on.
That's right. You can audio subtitle it.
Okay. Okay. I got this globe when I was in, I believe, first grade, and in 1990. I'm just gonna repeat what he says. Oh wait.
Just keep going.
You can
Just
see
keep
that.
going.
It's working for
See
sugar.
that there's a line going here where the islands are. If I just pull it, just rub it just right, you can hear the creek.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Keep going. Keep going.
Look at you.
Okay, now
I was almost there, Kyle. Keep going.
I'm gonna stop this, but we need to have a serious conversation about this.
I'm gonna have to turn off people's cameras here in a second.
How do I stop?
I almost. What?
Don't worry, Steve. Mine's already off.
I became
okay.
at least 15% less.
So get this, y'all. That guy. Oh my God, he's still talking. That guy has 128,000 subscribers, and that video of him tapping a globe for 20 minutes. Just this is my globe. Do you see these countries?
Yeah, I got to go in a new
Nearly
direction
500,000
my
views.
shit's all
Nearly
fluff.
500,000. Nearly 500,000.
Well, that's
Hey,
that's
Sugar,
because I'm getting a lot of Facebook stuff saying Australia doesn't even exist anymore.
how about we get Sugar to do a promo for Non Sequitur as her doing ASMR whisper?
Sure, I'll do it. Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, well,
Like some sandwich making ASMR,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go,
just
Sugar.
just
Tell us how to
I'm
make a
gonna start
sandwich.
doing-
My women
I'm going to
see-
start doing humanism ASMR.
Because that's all she's good for,
Ooh.
Steve. We're just objectifying her. She's not
Yeah.
good to just come and have an actual debate. We have to
Yeah.
use her for the sexy woman voice.
Yeah, suck
Here
it.
you, Steve.
but just to
I'm
put those
trying to, but she's not going for
You
it.
pig.
just to put those views into perspective for you, Kyle, like the 10 hours of Nyan Cat has like 164 million views. So not that much.
Are they conditional views or unconditional views?
Are we really going to start this again?
I never let things go, ever.
We'll hash it out tonight.
I'm with Jim tonight.
By the way, just out of curiosity, people that have channels.
It's absolutely true. He doesn't let go. He's got a grip like a silverback.
Oh,
Silver.
daddy.
Did you guys have channels?
Oh, I wasn't ready for that. I swear to God, I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't either. I was like, hey, let go.
It's okay. We're learning together, Jim.
I can't.
I'm more upset that you keep forgetting that I'm invited to this, Kyle.
I keep getting upset that you invited yourself to this.
I keep getting excited that you two are seemingly fighting over me, even though
No.
fiction.
Don't get it twisted. Y'all are fighting over me. It's just this is an illusion. Okay.
I'll kill everybody over you, Jim.
Kyle, I suggest we do a dating game on the Non Sequitur show of some kind, and then basically they're vying for your attention. It's maybe, like I said, who knows Kyle the best based upon things that you've actually said on the Non Sequitur show.
If I was at least a bit narcissistic, I would totally do that, but I could not do that. I could not sit and watch people.
Well, it'd be a night that you're a host.
I'm not built that way.
You're a guest that night.
You sit in the chair and just shut up and look pretty.
Nobody wants. Nobody gives a shit. Like nobody gives a shit who wants to date Kyle, or you know what I mean. Like I don't want to.
You really don't read chat that much, do you? Because
yeah, it's all about you, Kyle.
there's 20% of comments that are just
Please
about,
get a hobby, guys. I appreciate it, but I'm not worth it. I promise. Like.
And
Those
see,
things
this is
feel like
makes it this
Kyle,
makes people vote for you even more.
Soak it in, Kyle, because one day you have to use so many filters that you almost look like a cartoon on your avatar.
Because
Ask me how I know.
Because I absolutely adore. We have the best live audience on the planet. Like nobody has a live audience like we do. But if they're spending their time talking about there are better things to talk about, guys. Like
what you're talking about.
Yes, like this conversation.
Yeah, like why aren't you guys talking about what we're talking about right now?
What you need to be doing is convincing Jim to move to North Carolina, like now.
Yeah.
Oh, I just moved here. I just bought my farm.
I feel
California's
everybody-
nice this time of year.
Everybody's like, oh my God, Kyle is.
Well, I'm in Oklahoma, so why don't you guys just go 50-50 and we'll make a weekend out of it.
Oklahoma.
Never Oklahoma, never again.
Mm.
I went
Well,
there. I went there for my
Cool.
AIT, and I went to a strip club in Oklahoma once. And I just
Well, then
was
you just shred that invitation, sir.
They have
It
those?
was- yeah. It's an experience.
Yeah, I
Is it
worked
like-
in a strip club once in Oklahoma.
There's like 3 here in North Carolina, I think.
You only
Yeah, I mean,
you only worked there
I
once.
did too.
You didn't make the grade.
No, I've never stripped.
No, really. I toured with American Hunks, and I started in Poto, Oklahoma, and I did that for about 6
Hold on,
months.
talk me through this.
Can't do
Go
this.
slow. Talk me through
Cannot do
this.
this.
Wait, are we still? Oh no, we're live. No.
Oh, no, I took this. off.
Never mind.
We'll find out about
Hey,
this.
that was a joke. That was a joke. A joke.
Oh man.
I don't even know
Let's
if
go into
American
your-
Hunks is
Yeah,
a
but
thing.
some
It's probably not even
people
a
are
real
humor
thing.
impaired, so they
It's
won't
already
joke.
it's already in your
So
Wikipedia.
mad right now.
It's already.
Yeah,
in
I
your
know.
Wikipedia.
It's already in your Great Community Wiki.
I was already starting a Facebook post. Damn it.
I was with American Hunks. I mean, I was undercover.
Yeah, keep
I know
going.
what
Wait.
cover.
No.
Okay.
Damn it. Next.
cover?
Next. Who's next? Steve, you're next. Hi, Steve.
I'm
You're
next.
digging it deep.
I'm next.
No.
I've been waiting. I'm next.
Don't even try with
Next.
me. I'm boring.
Dibs.
Oh, I don't even want to look at the live chat right now.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
we should probably actually talk about something. 'Cause
I don't like going to strip
Yeah,
clubs.
let's talk about something.
if not, I'm just gonna go ahead and jack off and take care of this now.
Well, I thought we were going to like.
That's real talk.
Go over what we were
Oh
talking about.
man.
Actual.
This is just the warm up.
It is after midnight. Yeah, we're okay. It's after midnight. We're good.
Well, like I said, I did have one of the premier philosophers in the entire world on my show. Just
You can tell. You can tell right now.
well, I got excited. For that.
I want to point out again how time zone centric you are, disrespecting people on the other side of the globe, because it's noon other places, right? It just happens to be midnight in your time zone.
Next.
Yeah, but that's only on the fake globe Earth.
But also, by the way, that globe was all northern hemisphere centric, right? It was disrespectful to the southern hemisphere because it showed it from a northern hemisphere perspective, and that's disrespectful of. Well, if Australia existed, it would be disrespectful of that country. But of course, isn't that supposed to be a fake country?
I'm still going to be a Pacific centrist because I mess up time zones because this was the hangout we just had was supposed to be tomorrow. I didn't realize that tomorrow actually was today for them. Tomorrow in Australia, they're a day ahead, so I messed up. So I had.
I thought
which is
Wyoming
okay.
didn't exist.
This is one of the few places where me and you agree against Steve.
That's a good
time.
question. It varies whether it's Wyoming or South Dakota.
South to what? Now you're
South.
just talking crazy.
Yeah, why do we?
I think that was sold to Canada. I think at one
Why do we
point.
need 2 Carolinas?
Should be.
Yep. South Carolina power.
You don't get an argument from me there.
Yeah. Now California should be split.
I don't know. I like the Panthers.
Northern and Southern
California should be nuked.
Yeah, they're two different things.
You like the
Just
Panthers, Jim?
I do.
We are meant to be together.
They are SoCal.
Well,
You-
Sugar's not that far actually.
Tar Heels?
We're gonna go out. She's gonna actually like be my wingman one of these days and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
be my designated drunk driver thingy, so I don't have to worry about it. Just get
Total
me
Tar
drunk.
Heels.
And then I can hit on women, and she'd be like, he's okay, he's harmless. Just get just
I'll
do-
go.
do
No,
you
he's a good guy. I've done him.
yeah, a couple times. It wasn't great, but you know what? I didn't
I'll
catch
talk you
anything
up.
at least.
Sugar's be like a level 100 wingman, no doubt.
I went to strip club once with a bunch of firefighters that I worked with, and that was fun because all the girls wanted to give me lap dances, and they just loved watching that. So it was.
I like giving girls lap dances. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that to my pregnant 21-year-old friend once because I was
Ah.
a bad person.
I was always so uncomfortable in lap dances. I think
I'm
I've
not a
gotten
big fan of them.
maybe 4, and each time I just was the most awkward person.
Just don't know what to do with your hands.
Yeah,
like
it's
you're
like
just
because there's a bouncer like right over here, and you feel like if you make the wrong move, like you're just gonna get the shit slapped out of you. So I just kind of sit there like I really am enjoying this. It doesn't seem like I'm enjoying this, but I really am enjoying this. Like, is it good for you? It's good for me. It's good for you.
I didn't mind the girls at all. As a matter of fact, I quite enjoyed it. But I went to one of those male review shows once for my sister's bridal shower or whatever. And this guy picked me up and just like threw me around like a little rag doll. And I was really uncomfortable. But yeah, I'd pick the female again, time and time again. I was just cuter.
Me too.
Yeah, I bet.
I was strange. Like, I never got strip clubs. To me, I was always like, you can stay at home and not get laid for free. I'd rather spend my time going after actually something that you can
getting all worked up for nothing.
Or you have a shot with, because it's not going to be with a stripper 9 times out of 10.
Well, real quick,
8 times out of 10.
Not to change the topic, but to change the topic. Brian has a question for Landon, and I kind of want to hear what it is because curious.
Well, I might have an answer.
Maybe
it might be correct. It depends upon the mood.
Well, I think it's a field of your expertise. I guess it's 2 questions. 1, are there infinitely many prime numbers? And 2, could it be possible to statistically model prime numbers and kind of map them out? I don't know how the large prime numbers are mapped, but could it be done with like an equation or a mathematical model to actually just find larger and larger and larger ones to where we can just know? So that's kind of my questions about prime numbers. And I figure you're probably one of the best people in the world to ask about that.
So yes, there are an infinite number of primes, and it's fairly easy to prove. And there are, you mentioned statistically speaking, we can talk about the distribution of primes and the approximate number of primes less than a value. And if you assume the Riemann-Zeta hypothesis, you could actually come up with a more exact formula for determining the number of primes less than x. But in general, primes are well distributed over a large range, but not well, or you might say it's not really fair to say they're random, but they're hard to predict on a local scale. But what we know that, for example, the number of primes less than x is approximately x over the natural log of x. Now, it's not quite that. There's another term in there and so forth, and you get into Riemann-Zeta functions. But yes, there is a general distribution for primes, and you can make statements about what are the odds that a value this large is prime.
So if they prove the Riemann hypothesis, more than just saying that the prime numbers are on that critical line between 0 and 1, would they also be able to use that to predictively model where these primes would be on the critical line?
Well, if the zeros of the zeta function on the critical strip are along the 1/2 line.
Oh, the non-trivial zeros.
Yeah. Then you can make a statement. The Riemann-Zeta function can be used to correct a predictor. There's a predictor formula that Gauss came up with that has an error term that's better than x over log x, and you can use the Riemann-Zeta function to give a precise correction. But that being said, if you really want to know approximately, you got some number x, what are the number of primes less than x? It's about x over the natural log of x.
See, now I'm getting excited. See, they're all talking about strip clubs and shit like that. See, this is what gets me hard.
and the odds of a number being prime around that range are about 1 over 2 times the natural log.
Now you're just playing with me, Landon.
For those who heard Landon mention Gauss.
But yes, so yes, there are an infinite number of primes.
Pi T's.
Yes, we can talk about distributions of primes on a large scale. They tend to appear random, but they're not random on a local scale, but they're well distributed on a large scale.
Thank you very much, Landon. I really appreciate that knowledge. And you mentioned Gauss in there, and they put him on the money. I think it's the Deutschmark, right? They put him on the Deutschmark, and they put the normal curve function on it. So you got to love it when they put math and scientists on money.
Well, and they should be rightly proud of that. Same as the French have people such as Laplace on things like Eiffel Tower and so forth. I mean, there are some pretty amazing folks that did some, a lot of foundational work that some people ignore, but most scientists pay good attention to that.
I still mix up his transformations.
I haven't watched this yet, and again, no change of topic here, but I just found that Shannon Q did a debate with, get this, you ready for this?
Oh yeah,
Kyle, you sitting down, Kyle?
Definitely free.
Oh, fuck you. How'd you know? You watched it?
No, she they've had this. They've had this
How
planned
bad?
for a couple days.
How bad was this? I couldn't.
It was pretty great. As a matter of fact, people were talking about it in the live chat during the non-sex show.
Steve, you had them talk on your show, on your channel.
Yeah, ages ago, but I didn't know they had a debate.
It was like 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Whatever. Everything past a month ago is ages, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, Neffy. But see, I've tried to arrange other debates with Neffy. Neffy is supposed to have a conversation with Glenn Williams, aka Ruhif, and that was impossible to ever manifest. He's just the most difficult person to arrange things with.
Why would you want to?
Never again.
Where is she said she was doing the debate in the live chat the other night, but where is it?
It's on Modern Day Hysteria's channel.
Modern Day Hysteria's channel.
Yeah, I guess I did remember. Here, I just haven't watched it. I haven't.
Yeah.
We're doing one on his channel next week.
By the way, since this is also, we're talking about philosophy and so forth, I'd like to at least give you the proof that's an infinite number of primes. It's actually fairly easy to understand, and it's an argument by proof by contradiction, which some people don't like, but other people do. So what you do is you say, let's assume there's a finite number of primes. There's a largest prime, right? You could, if there's a finite number of primes and it's the largest prime, then you could take all those primes and multiply them together, right?
I kind of see where this is going already. Keep going.
Right. Now let's call that number A. A is the product of all primes, right? And its factors are all the primes. Well, what about A plus 1? Right? Now, if it's a prime, it's got to be a factor of A. How could a prime be a factor of A and also a factor of A plus 1? Because what is A plus 1? Well, you say it's not prime because it's bigger than the largest prime. So how could a prime divide a product of all primes and not divide the product of all primes plus 1? Mm-hmm. So there you have a contradiction, and therefore our original assumption that you have a finite number of primes is wrong.
I like it. That's quick and easy.
I just go what Jesus said.
Well, Jesus was an even number. So,
who?
Zero. I try to explain to people zero is an even number, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, it's zero is an even number. They're like, no, Steve.
Of course it is. It's 0 mod 2.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But they don't get that.
There's no debate, right? You can debate philosophy, you can debate religion, but you can't debate.
I understand, and this is what I'm telling. This is why I'm explaining them that zero is an even number. If you said 0 mod 2, and by the way, Ryan and I have talked about mods in the past and talked about how people seem to have a weird misunderstanding of uses of them. But it's an even.
You can't debate pineapple on pizza either.
Now, of course, Steve, you could have a weird axiomatic system where you say, that odds are even and evens are odd.
Yeah, but again, when I talk about math, it's assumed that we're talking about
sane,
reals.
Sane.
But
anyway, so what do you think about that proof of contradiction? I mean, how does philosophy handle that? Is that considered valid, or
any kind of reductio is fine? I mean, I was actually had somebody talking to me, although I'm kind of remember what the proof, but yeah, any kind of reductio ad absurdum is fine in philosophy. That's considered to be an actual proof. There's also called proof by possibility. But yeah, you can prove something to the contrary because you're demonstrating that it cannot be any other way. So it's kind of a process.
You start with an assumption, you lead to a contradiction, and then you say your assumption must be impossible and therefore false.
Aaron Featherfoot says 0 is even, but it's not positive. I actually disagree. Now, I normally this Landon probably will argue with me on this, but most of the time 0 is unsigned, so it's not 0 or positive. But in computers, you can have signed 0. You can have plus 0, you can minus 0, and so I'm not going to go out there and say that 0 isn't negative or negative 0 isn't positive, because in this regard, I think you really have to designate what you're talking about. Now, I don't know how Landon thinks that he's a computer guy too. But
I think in the case you're talking about, it's hard to claim that 0 is negative, right? If you say the negatives are values less than 0.
But you can have a signed negative, right? And if
true. I mean,
negative
there's representations about a negative 0 to positive 0, and also you're talking about limits.
Yeah,
you can talk about 0 plus and 0 minus.
Yeah, from the right hand side to the left hand side, and plus, I take subtraction to be a unary operator. So if you have minus 0, you have to me, unary operators are attached to their numbers. I don't know if that's how it is in math.
Well,
but
so
that's how I was-
let's define what's a negative number. A negative number is a value less than 0.
okay, but that's like saying a positive number is something higher than 0. That's one way to define them, I guess. By the way,
and so
Jim, do you guys want to get a room? Do you guys want some quality time together? I think Kyle's pining for you.
But I mean,
Wait, what?
this is all
I was just
convention.
I was just admiring Jim, and I drew his portrait while they were talking about math. Just how
You're really trying to make me jealous here,
You
Kyle.
really captured his essence.
it's just how I keep myself busy.
Wait, what? All right.
So how come the hearts are opposite direction? You have a filled-in heart on a top.
Because Landon, you can't control where the hearts go.
Oh, okay.
Is my hairline really that jacked up? Like,
The
I
heart
knew
wants
that.
what the
My
heart
drawing
wants.
is really that
All,
jacked.
all I'm saying
Like,
is if in a couple of weeks that's not framed behind you, Jim, then I don't think the romance here it was working out.
We saw last
Well,
week.
he has my address, so
No, I don't.
yeah, you do. It's on my email. It's on my email signature line.
Oh, so everybody's got your address. I see.
No, just you. I just put it on the email signature line for you.
I see.
It's difficult to get either.
Yeah,
of them.
now the truth comes out. Now the truth comes out.
See what happens when you don't play hard to get?
Once again,
Yeah, when you don't play hard to get, you don't get. When you play hard to get, you don't get laid. So I mean,
you don't get got most of the time. You don't get got.
that's it. Yeah, because people are like, I'm not gonna
right.
chase you. Because I'm an American and I don't run.
Here's the proof of that. 100% of people who, well, never mind. I can't say that.
To break up this love fest out of pure jealousy, somebody was asking in the chat, and I had a question too, because I understand 0 is even because of parity, but I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Parity. Okay, so it's basically its relation to other numbers. So if you were to take 0 plus, so if you take an even number, you can add an even number to an even number, and you get an even number. So we know that is a constant rule. So if we add a even number to 0, we're always going to get an even number. So that's how we know that it's even by the law of opposition from even odd.
Gotcha. Because if you can add an odd number to an odd number and still get an odd number, but that's
Exactly.
not the case. Gotcha. Roger. Thank you.
Yep.
De nada.
I always just took it as
Of course, there's parity gets more complicated when you start talking about group theory and other sort of things. But
It's just when you start talking about
effectively,
0.
for the nice simple numbers, what you said was spot on. It was cringe free, as we said.
that's a first.
What about multiplying negative numbers? Don't you get a positive on that?
I mean, a negative number times a negative number is a positive number, right? A negative real number times a negative real number, I should say.
See, I know something.
Yeah, so an easy way to look at odds or evens is you can just say the number plus 1 is even only if n is not even.
I would just say anything divided by 2 is even.
So even times even is even. Even times odd is even. Odd times odd is odd.
You are a little odd.
It's like some mathematic genetics.
For multiplication over, let's say, the reals.
One other thing I did want to interject with there, Steve, is when you were talking to Dr. Oppy and you're talking about just naturalism in general and how people don't, declare gods is not real, being naturalists. I would say in general, I don't believe in any gods, but I take every God claim on its own.
Yeah, but that's not what the question. That's the same thing that Jim's trying to say. And I'm not trying to say you're dishonest, but it's a dishonest way of trying to approach the question. You're changing the question to something else. The question isn't dealing with the gods you've been exposed to. The question is ontologically, are there gods? Period. It's an all or nothing case. You can't just take that and go, well, I'm making into a subset.
I'm trying to be more honest because
That's
I'm not trying.
What is the
is not being honest.
Well, I'm trying to be as honest as possible because I'm not trying to make claims for information I don't even have yet.
But it doesn't matter. You can still have a belief and be wrong. I believe. Okay, let's arguendo. I say I believe there are no gods. Okay, that is my belief. That ontologically there are no gods in the universe. They don't exist. And somebody says, "What about gods you've never been exposed to?" Well, I tell you what. When you give me one that I haven't been exposed to, I can evaluate. I can change my position. But at this point, I believe that there are no gods. What the hell's wrong with that? That is honest.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So do you believe that there are no gods?
I don't believe in any gods.
I didn't ask you what you don't believe. Do you believe that there are no gods? Do you
No. I don't. I don't believe there are no gods. There are no gods that I believe in.
But you're missing the question that he's
You're
asking.
changing the question. Now listen very carefully, because this is what a lot of people do. I notice they change the question. Do you hold a belief that there are no gods?
Yes, I hold that belief.
Then you're a philosophical atheist. You're a strong atheist. You're burden of proof on that.
Welcome
Just
to
like
the right team.
No.
Is that strong?
Do I hold
you believe
any belief in any gods? Right?
no. I want to make sure he gets the question. I don't want him to answer the wrong question.
Can I rephrase it? See how I think you're trying to ask it. He's asking you, do you have the position that no gods exist? Absolutely.
No, exactly. No,
Okay,
I don't have that position.
Okay, then why not? Jim does.
Because I haven't evaluated all God
Jim
claims.
does. Oh,
And
wait.
I can't.
Hang on, Jim. Jim, do you hold a strong atheism? I don't remember. Oh, you muted.
We can't hear you, Jim.
I think you're hard muted because you're not muted through the.
Please.
Shit.
Please.
I gotta stop using that word hard around Kyle.
Yeah, it was hard. I got it. Damn it. What was I gonna say?
You're in the same position as
You were gonna agree with me.
No, I'm pretty sure that wasn't it. No.
Ow.
No. I'm probably so. I don't know.
All right, so you won't answer that question either. Then, if there
Well, I don't even know what the question was. That's what I was trying to answer.
is there any gods in the universe?
Oh, okay. So
Well, hold on.
It is impossible for you to first of all know every God concept.
We're not talking about knowledge.
No. But what he's saying is, do you actively believe that no gods?
This is why philosophy blows.
This is so simple.
Yes.
I'll tell you what,
Yes.
okay,
I absolutely do, because every God that I has been presented with thus far has not provided me with even a hint of what I would consider to be verifiable or observable evidence.
So you can
Therefore, it is safe for me to assume that every other God concept that is presented to me in the future will also match those
he's a
same.
philosophical atheist.
Those same.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Now,
I don't have a problem with that.
I happen to believe you cannot prove that no gods exist.
Sure.
Of course.
Of course.
And so
Right.
if you can't prove it, how
That's
do
an
you
intellectual
know it?
position to take.
But
This is what we believe. This is what we
Well,
believe.
like I know Kyle believes there's no gods. He
Right.
thinks they're all bullshit,
Right.
Which is, I accept that, and I don't think that's a bad position. Actually, he can justify it, right? But why is it that you have this hesitance to say that you believe there are no gods? You don't have to be able to prove it. You don't have to. You can be wrong, by the way, about beliefs. If God showed up later on, you'd be like, "Fuck it, I was wrong."
Sure,
Big deal.
With my luck, I probably am.
I'm just trying to be as honest as possible, and I can only either lack a belief in some gods that have ambiguous premises. Some gods, I
But
actively.
How are you being honest when you're actively changing the questions? How is that being honest? And I'm not.
I'm not-
In his defense, I don't think that he's changing the question. I think that he's just trying to make it to where it applies to all God claims.
Yeah, I'm evaluating every God claim that I have.
Right. Not just the ones that claim to be supernatural
Okay, But look at the proposition. If I tell him the proposition is at least one God exists. Now, you say that you don't think the proposition is true or false, right?
I don't believe the proposition is true.
But then again, what do you mean by God? Are you talking about Lionel Messi?
No, stop. So the proposition, you said you don't believe that is true. Do you also don't believe that it's false?
No, I don't know that it's. I can't say for a certainty that it's false.
I'm not. Again, you're using. This is why you're saying you're being honest, but you're intellectually not being honest. We're not talking about certitude. We're not talking about knowledge. You're evading the question by changing it to something that the question is not. Even Landon can point this out to you. And Landon, is he not changing the question?
Yes, and I think because perhaps you either don't understand the question precisely.
Well, no,
or you're
Yeah, and I'm thinking that
feeling
you probably
uncomfortable
don't
with the question.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing it intentionally. He's not like doing it duplicitous, right? It's just that I don't think he's fully understanding the question. If you can't assign the truth value to the proposition, right? You can't say that it's true. You just, if I say at least one God exists, you say, okay, that's true. You're a theist. If you say I don't believe it's true, you're not a theist. But at the same time, if you can't say that it's false, you just say I don't believe that it's false either. Then you either think that it's false or you don't think it's false. You have to pick one or the other. If you think it's false, you are an atheist by any conceivable definition, because that's what philosophical atheism is. But you can't say, well, I don't have. I mean, I don't.
Here's my problem. I can't justify saying no gods exist.
I didn't. But that's again not. Now you.
No, I know, but I'm talking about.
You don't have to justify it.
Well, you do have to justify it, but
you do have to justify it. That's what I'm saying is. All I can say is I don't believe any gods exist. I've never been presented with it.
But let me again. Here's the preposition, and I'm going to ask you questions very specific about it. And I'm not even going to say anything. But Landon, you tell me if he's changed it or is not answering the question fully. Okay, because you understand this. So time. The proposition is that at least one God exists. Do you understand the proposition?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe the proposition is true?
No.
Do you believe the proposition is false?
I don't know.
You don't. So you don't know whether you believe the proposition is false or not.
I don't know that if it's false, I don't believe it's true.
Explore it.
Okay. Either you believe the proposition is false, or you do not believe the proposition is false. Would you agree, Landon? That is a dichotomy in classical.
Yeah, it's excluded middle. Yes.
Okay. So if you don't believe, if you don't actively hold a belief that that proposition is false, it falls under the other side of you do not believe that it's false. It's a dichotomy.
That doesn't seem right to me either, though. Like, just once again, this is just the dude who's not into this at all. But it's not. I don't think you could force somebody to make a decision on whether they believe it or not. If they don't know, they haven't explored it yet, and they need to do that.
Because this is the problem with classical logic. By the way, the thing you brought up, this is what I got into with Matt Dillahunty. This is why classical logic, I believe, sucks for these types of things. Alex has brought this very thing up. This is why people use stochastic logic. Alex Malpass has specifically even said that classical logic is probably not the right tool to be talking about a lot of this stuff because you lose a lot of nuances with it. But if you're going to be talking about classical logic, it is either you believe that it's true or you don't believe it's true. There are no other options.
Tom, here's my advice. Do you and not care what anyone else thinks about what you call whatever. If you're comfortable saying that you don't know an answer, then explore it. But
no, and I'm fine with that. And I'm actually having fun talking about it. My problem.
Then you're a masochist.
Yeah, I guess I am.
Don't worry about atheism.
But my thing is, I'm justified in saying I don't believe in it that any gods exist. I have justification for that. I don't have justification for saying no gods exist.
But I didn't. That was again. That isn't the question. What I'm asking you is.
But that's I don't know how else to have a stance on the position.
The proposition is now that
it's not that there are no gods.
The proposition is now that at least one God does not exist. Okay, do you see the difference there? So the proposition I've just changed to at least one God does not exist. You get that?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, there are gods that I could logically classify as non-existent.
No. At least one God.
There exists a God that doesn't exist.
There does not exist at least one God. That's the way it should be phrased. Yeah. There does not exist at least one God.
Yes, and I can justify that.
Okay, if you believe that there are no gods, then that's the equivalent of saying I believe there are no gods. What you just said is equivalency.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. No, I missed that because
I believe that there are no gods is not the same as
Landon,
gods.
can you explain why that's equivalent? Because I don't think again, this is nothing about definitions. People in the live chat talk about definitions. This is logic that we're talking about, not definitions. I want to make that very stipulative. This is not a semantic argument. This is dealing with classical logic. Would you agree?
Right. Yeah, and one of the problems
this is what I wanted to bring up
with classical logic is that the language, like in the English language, is a really poor way to describe classical logic.
Totally agree.
You get into all kinds of semantical garbage and confusion with regards to that. And formal logic, you could state that unequivocally, and it would be obvious the result, but we use words, and those have all kinds of baggage that goes with it.
I think that time is right there with me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, if I'm misrepresenting you, but I kind of feel like Bertrand Russell's take on the Occam's razor, that whenever you can, you substitute physical constructs out of things that you do know for the inferences to things that you don't know.
That's fair enough.
Somebody wants to ask me the type of question. Somebody said, "Well, Steve, as an agnostic, can you answer these questions?" Yeah.
So for example, Steve, do you conjecture that there are no gods?
Well, that's now you're throwing around the conjecture. Have I thought about have I thought about conjecturing of it many times?
Oh my God!
But that's a different question, Landon.
Yeah, totally different.
You just said you asked for a different question. So
No. Ask me the same questions they've been asking. Like, can I answer the questions I asked time? Of course.
So do you believe that there are no gods?
I do not have that belief that there are no gods. So I do not believe that there are gods.
Do you believe that there is a God that does not exist?
There is at least one God that does not exist, if that's how you're asking that question. So I do believe that there is like one God that doesn't exist, but I think you phrased the question wrong.
No, but I'm getting around the environment.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. I can answer any question.
So another question would be, is that do you believe that the statement no God exists is false?
No.
Do you believe that the statement no God exists is true?
No. Is that consistent with being agnostic?
Correct.
Thank you.
Right. Well, and my whole point was, and what I was trying to get back to from the conversation earlier was, I don't think that these types of dichotomies are a great way to define somebody's position. I don't think that they are necessarily, they might be consistent, but if you have to force yourself to fit into these guidelines, your position might not be completely honest.
Okay,
Exactly. They're not representative of us at on a local level.
But when you say it's weird that you're not seeing the distinction here. When I asked you if the proposition is true, you didn't say I don't know. You said I don't believe that it's true. But when I asked you if the proposition is false, you didn't have the same thing. You didn't say, well, I don't believe that it's false. You said you don't know if it's false. So you're saying you don't know whether you believe that it's true. I mean, you don't know if you believe it's false or you.
Well, I don't believe it's true, and I can justify not believing it's true, but I can't justify believing it as false.
Okay, so you don't believe that's false. There you go. So you don't believe it's true, and you don't believe it's false. You've just literally said that.
Can I ask you a question, Steve?
But no. Hold on. No, that's you're reversing that. Well, not reversing it. I don't believe it's true, and I can't know if it's false.
Okay, how about this? Let me try. I got a perfect way to do this. Try to do yes or no if you can. Do you have a belief right now in your mind that gods exist?
I don't have any belief that they exist.
It's a yes or no question. Do you have in your mind, do you hold a belief that there are no gods? Or that there is a God? I'm sorry, that there is a God. Do you hold a belief that there is a God?
No.
Okay, so you're not a theist, correct?
Yeah.
Do you hold a belief in your head right now that there are no gods?
No.
Then you do not believe that the proposition is true, and you do not believe the proposition is false of theism. You are agnostic on the proposition of theism. You don't have a belief.
But that's the thing. I'm not agnostic on the proposition of theism.
You are. You just literally said so.
No. Depending on the God.
I'm really confused as to how you're not.
Good time.
Depending on the God.
No, time. You're being very inconsistent here. I'm telling you, your logic is flawed here, and I'm not trying to. I'm not.
I'm trying to understand why Time thinks that he's not an agnostic when he just.
Yeah.
Why would it matter if that's how you answered, and that's what if that's how you answered? You just answered the questions honestly, and that's what it came to.
Right.
It came to you being agnostic. Why is that a definite no, I'm not thing? Like, I think you're hung up on the word and not what they
right.
What they mean.
I don't care being classified as agnostic. I don't think I am. But that's a whole different topip.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I don't care
because
whatever word you want.
But when you call me an agnostic, it implies that
you don't have a position either way.
Right, and there are definitely gods I can 100% say I reject. I refuse because of logical inconsistencies.
That's the local versus global atheism I was talking about, and why there needs to be a distinction.
Here's the secret: call yourself an atheist and not give a shit what anybody thinks.
Fuck yeah!
Almost what they call friendly atheism.
Well, friendly atheism is a position that is not against being theist, right? Friendly atheist is somebody who's open to theism as people not being against it, right?
Yeah. There's
I'm a sexy atheist.
There's local atheists and global atheists. Local atheist is that you are an atheist about all of the God concepts that you are aware of that have been presented to you, and a global atheist is somebody who denies the existence of any deity, whether they have knowledge of it or not.
I'm a local atheist toward the young creationist God. I've said it numerous times. If the younger creationist God is contingent upon the age of the earth being 7,000 years old, that God does not exist. Period. End of story by necessity.
Okay, but
Right.
what you're using there is a scientific method. So can't you apply that to every other deity?
No, because that
No.
falls into existence.
Try applying it to a
Okay, but
because
what
Spinozan God.
Hang on,
what
the re-
else can
the re-
you not consistently apply the scientific
the
method to?
reason why you can do it, because in that particular case, that God is contingent upon a certain condition. That condition is the age of the earth. And young earth creationists always argue
It's called
that-
special pleading.
No, it's not. I mean, one's dealing with the existential states, and one's dealing with scientific states. We know scientifically that the age of the earth what it is. Now, if a theist says, well, you know what? Yes, the earth is 6,000 years old and God made it appear older. Okay, you're outside the realm of science, but that God is not longer contingent upon the age of the earth. But if you say scientifically that the earth is 7,000 years old and that God is contingent upon that, then by necessity that God is falsified.
So the God isn't falsified by the claim that it brought the universe into existence?
No. Why?
No.
Why not?
Why would it be?
Why would it be?
What
That
do
tails
you-
one to the other.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you're trying to say that it would be falsified on that, right?
Yeah, that's like me
So
walking.
how would it be falsified on that?
That's like me walking into my house and there's a pot of coffee made, and instead of thinking that maybe my daughter made it or something like that, I automatically assume that a fairy jumped out of the counter and made it.
That would be me.
You're not telling me anything about how it'd be falsified or unfalsified.
Of course I am. I'm talking about how you are coming to an irrational conclusion.
What's irrational?
Instead of exploring all the possibilities before you latch onto a God belief.
But if I just say, look, I have.
You're not telling me how it would be falsified.
It wouldn't be falsified. There's no falsification.
Right. That's the problem that I'm having with it. That's where the disagreement.
This is exactly why
He's saying it would be falsified, but it wouldn't be.
At best,
can you tell me how it would be true?
Falsification means that you have a condition such that the case cannot be such as stipulated. That's a
Exactly.
Okay, but we can have a Big Bang, we can have expansion, we can have.
But we can't have fairies hop out of my cabinet and make myself a pot of coffee.
Why are you comparing these two different?
I don't know why we're getting the fairy and the pot of coffee.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with.
Yeah, that's
we're talking about a God creating the universe.
No,
Significantly different than a fairy and a pot of coffee.
No,
That
Jim,
is
you're
exactly
literally
what
committing a
it's
false
like. There are other
equivalency.
conclusions that we can reach. It's not like we've come to the end of our rope, but we
Listen
are.
to Chris right now. Chris is nailing it.
Jim,
We're copping out.
Jim, listen to Chris. You have a false.
It's not copping out, buddy.
I'm
Jim,
telling you, you're
hold on,
having a
hold on.
foul.
Okay, I'm listening. Go
What's
ahead.
the difference between a pot of coffee and the universe? Literally
quite a bit.
everything, practically.
Right. There's a bit that's different there. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between?
Although one could
making
argue that a pot of coffee is
coffee-
just a smaller representation of the elements that make up the universe, but go ahead.
Okay, what's the difference between making a pot of coffee and making the universe? Like bringing the universe into existence from nothing or something.
They're both necessary.
Easy, because I can prove that I can make a pot of coffee. I cannot prove that any being can bring a universe into existence.
There's nothing illogical about something coming from nothing. I'll just tell you that right now.
But what
Well,
about
it depends on what your
something
definition of
about
nothing is, but I don't know if you want to get into that.
What's your
There's
definition?
nothing-
Of conditions? That's the important.
I think we're branching off here.
There's nothing illogical.
I'm
about
stuck on the
something coming from
unfalsifiable
God.
part, or I'm stuck on the idea that it's
I don't
false.
see how it's. There's nothing related. To
Okay. Even if it isn't falsifiable, the fact remains that there are alternate conclusions that you can come to that are inarguably more
And
rational.
among them are God created the universe.
Yeah.
That are inarguably more rational and more consistent with
Inarguably more rational.
With
You
the
want to
methods.
let's check on that.
Hang on.
What is inarguably more rational than a God creating the universe?
It's way too late for
Jim,
the Big Bang.
There's a problem I'm seeing here, and this is what's called particularism over Methodism. Do you ask the question of how do we know something, or what do we know? In the questions in this particular thing, right? Science could tell us, what we know about the universe. We can say, okay, the universe has a Big Bang. How, which is a different question. What is a different methodology? How it got here? That would be the ontological question, the metaphysical question, the existential question. That God did it all. So it's two completely different things. So by you're saying that we have a scientific explanation, that doesn't falsify the metaphysical ontology of what possibly could be the reason, the how these things came about. They're totally different things.
But all you're doing is saying is that there is a gap, and we can fill it with a God belief. So therefore, I'm not going to
No,
bend
that's
the
not what's going on.
God is a gap.
It's not God of the gaps.
This is one of the things that gets me really frustrated about this conversation is when someone puts forward a scientific like idea such as the Big Bang and says that this like disproves God somehow.
No, I'm not
the
saying
idea
that
of like
God, I'm saying
well,
it's more logical.
it's not even an
conclusion that
alternate
comes to a God
explanation.
origin.
It's not even an alternate explanation.
Real quick,
That you can have a God coexist with the idea of the Big Bang. Hold on, I'm in the middle of a point.
Sorry.
Yep,
I know,
yep.
but somebody's messing around in their kitchen and it's really distracting.
Okay, well, stop dragging your microphone through the kitchen, whoever's doing that. But you can have a God concept and a Big Bang coexist in the same framework.
Sure.
It's theistic. So
Sure.
when you're countering with the Big Bang, and I just say that's not a counter, where are you going?
It is the counter, because at some point you're going to have to get back to one thing or another, either some kind of a cause, an initial cause, or circular reasoning, and inevitably you will always wind up at circular reasoning when you go.
Okay. Well, hang on. Now we do dive into philosophy. And again, Landon, I hope he's listening.
Yes, I am.
Okay. In any axiomatic system, if you want to show the truth of all propositions of that system, you're going to end up with Agrippa or Munchalson's dilemma. So you are going to end up with circularity, infinite regress, or brute fact. That's a fact in any type of logical system. So to say, well, you're going to end up being circular. Well, guess what? In anything you pick, you're going to end up with one.
God doesn't bail you out of that, and a scientific explanation doesn't bail you out of that. Like if you go pure naturalist, materialist, whatever, you're still going to wind up with that problem. If you go with a theistic explanation, you're still going to wind up with that problem.
Yeah. Why do people say pure naturalist? What part of naturalism, or what part of your life do you not apply naturalism to, or what part of your life do you suspend the possibility of naturalism being true?
All right, if you're just saying like, what else do we just not go naturalist on? We can have that discussion on morality. We can have that discussion on aesthetics. We can have that discussion on whether or not other minds exist. We can have that discussion on numbers. There's a ton of things in which we have we have discussions on purely on a philosophical basis. Math is just feelings, okay, but I don't know why you would make that proposition. But if you want to say math is feelings, then you can go.
No, that's not what I said.
No, you put math on a list and you said feelings. All right, but.
I was adding it to the list of things that you can't necessarily apply naturalism to.
Right. So the fact remains that there's a ton of things that you can not apply naturalism to. And among those things are going to be things that, like, theistic concepts in which you're dealing with ontologies that don't involve a material framework, or that don't involve a discussion about what is material, but rather something that is not material, like God concepts, like morality, like aesthetics, like mathematics.
Mathematics has a base. Mathematics has something that we have built off of. Mathematics has laws and principles.
It's all based in logic and philosophy. It is not based in physicality, materialism, naturalism whatsoever.
Yep, it's not.
Yeah.
You got to remember, the main thing on math is a priori. It's not a posteriori. It's not experiential, and it's not evidential. It's not empirical, and I mean empirical as I mean the senses. People think that mathematics is empirical science. It's not. So these things are exactly as Ocean just described to you. That
so you're telling me that 2 + 2 is intangible?
Yeah.
Correct.
It's a priori.
Unless you can show me a 2.
Well, wait, didn't Bertrand Russell? I think it was Bertrand Russell. Go and write a huge dissertation on why 1 = 1 empirically.
Well, there's a 300-page proof, but
proof. Sorry.
It's a logic thing. It's not
when you talk about a priori, all that basically means is that you don't need to have empirical evidence to support it, right? Can I show 1 coconut plus 1 coconut = 2 coconuts? Sure. But if I didn't have that to do that, if I didn't have any kind of empiricism, I could show 1 + 1 = 2 just by a priori knowledge that has nothing to do with experiential type things. That's why it's called a priori.
Okay, but you can still come to that knowledge through experience.
Do you come to but the main argument for God belief is through experience.
I learned how to do math on my fingers. Okay, I learned from experience.
No, that doesn't mean that they're existent, though.
But even if that's
you're talking about numbers and summations and sequencing and shit like that. You're talking about the abstract part of math. I'm talking about the physical representation of mathematics.
Wait. But there's a very
that's the difference between God and a cross.
There's a very distinct difference
between
practicing arithmetic and counting and mathematics.
Go ahead, Landon.
Okay.
Right? Mathematics is very different than essentially saying, "Oh, I learned to count, or I learn to numerate.
And mathematics are very different from a God because, for one, people can agree on mathematical concepts.
But
People can agree on God concepts too. What the hell are you talking about?
Really? I can't put two Christians in a room and have them agree on every fundamental.
Not every single part, but you can have people agree on God concepts. Come on.
You can't, and you can't put.
You can.
And Jim, you
on
can't
what
put.
Jim, on what basis is that? On what basis do they?
If you start reading the conversation about God in logical.
Let me get this out, Jim. Here's the mistake that you're making. A priori knowledge means that we are not required to have evidential. Even if you could, let's say that's fine. Arguendo, I can show 1 + 1 = 2. Great. A priori means that's not required. Just because we can learn from that way doesn't mean anything when it comes to a priori knowledge. That's all it means. That we don't have to have experience for it. Because there are types of mathematics we have no way of experiencing. Tarski paradox, right? But not how do you pronounce his name? Banch. No, he has a weird pronunciation. But the Tarski, I know how to pronounce Tarski, but paradox you can't do in real life. There's no ontology for it, so we can't experience it.
Tarnowski.
No, I think he has a weird way of pronouncing it.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way to try and get around it is if you went like
girder the other day. People were like making fun of me. I'm like, that's how I learned how to pronounce girder.
Like, the only way I could ever see you trying to get around the fact that math is purely illogic and abstract is to try and go the Pythagoras route and say that the world is numbers.
No, I wouldn't do that. No. But I would say that everything that we can do can be represented with numbers, and everything that we can do, we have the cognitive ability to recognize patterns and express the patterns with numbers and things that other humans can look at, peer-reviewed, scientific method, repeat the same experiment, and get the same results.
I think you need to be careful about those absolute statements.
Yeah.
You said everything we can be expressed with numbers, and immediately went to some of the issues about expressing the momentum and position of a particle precisely.
Okay, and you're talking about something very, very finite, a very, very small part of the entire mathematic theories put together. But when you compare that to the inconsistencies amongst God beliefs, well, then you just have astronomical differences.
I was just suggesting that
inconsistencies amongst the beliefs doesn't mean that God is real.
Or most
yes,
things,
it does.
But when you
doesn't.
make an absolute statement, you
yes,
run
it does.
into
Okay, all right. He's all right. We're going to say because people disagree on something means that the whole subject is out the window.
No, I'm saying that if it contradicts itself, if it is in contradiction of itself, it cannot exist.
Well,
if you're talking about a specific God idea in contradiction with itself, then sure, I'm going to agree that something that's incoherent can't be true. But that doesn't mean that God doesn't exist.
What about something that's
totally on board with that because paraconsistent logic.
I'm a polytheist, so the whole like omni thing isn't going to be my kind of conversation.
Well, I said what if I'm an atheist? I don't believe in that either.
Right, but as I agree with the criticisms of the omni God. I don't think that God exists. I don't think it's coherent
because it's in direct conflict. It's
that doesn't mean that there aren't any gods, or that the immaterial discussion about gods could be thrown out the window just because we have some contradictory ideas of it that exist out there.
But
that's like saying the Earth doesn't exist because it's flat Earthers.
And I think
our a priori knowledge of theology and of God tells us that they are contradictory.
Listen to me carefully. Most theists are not positing that omni type of thing. There was something called the principle of eternal verities where they got together and they resolved a lot of these issues. As a matter of fact, it was theists that said, we actually recognize we have a logical problem here. And
that's only true if you talk about scholar theists.
Okay, hang on.
If you say most theists, I think most theists accept the omni version.
Well,
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Let's steelman people. Okay,
actually, I don't think that's true.
I mean, that's yeah, I don't think it is either. But let's assume that it is. I mean, we're not talking about the Nephilim freeze here. Let's talk about academics.
Okay.
So look at most intelligent theists are not positing that omni type of thing because they know the logical problem of evil. They understand that, right?
Right.
Epicurus goes way back before even it's been reformulated, which is just even a two-way of putting it with two omnis. But the thing is that a theist understands that, and they will posit a deity that is only capable of doing something that is logically possible. And they don't posit this exact type of omni thing that Anselm had originally type of formulated for these very reasons. So you're refuting an argument that most theists are not positing. Now, if a theist does posit that,
I just had a debate with an open
No,
theist who
because-
doesn't posit an omni-God, who's a Christian and a street preacher and an evangelist. Like he's not positing that kind of God either, and he's a hard-ass Christian.
But
So-
what you have to understand is that these theists are also conceptualizing their idea of their deity from the same doctrine that everybody else gets their omni-God from.
Yeah, and if we're talking about the most
Honestly,
talking
the
about
omni-God
contribution.
isn't. A lot of people aren't
Catholics-
getting the omni-God from the
Catholics-
Bible. That's the philosopher's God.
pretty much have the omni god. I mean, most of your mainstream religions have an omni god.
Islam doesn't.
Well, okay.
And that's a billion people. That's more than a billion people.
That's
and then
just
you
like
have
I-
what is that, like 2 billion?
Yeah.
And then you have Muslim or Hindus. They don't have that.
No.
So that's another,
yeah.
billion.
Sure.
people.
But like I said, if you want to go after that particular deity, then go for it, right? Because I agree with you. that
No.
lot-
I just want to be clear in what we're discussing. If we're talking about like academic discussions on theism,
Scholarly.
then let's talk about that.
Again,
But
it depends on what they're positing, right? We're talking about theism as a whole. We're talking about globally right now, right? And now this is like saying, well, if somebody's positing a young Earth creationist God, well, yeah, I can tell you that that particular God doesn't exist because that's what they're positing. But
Sure.
we're talking about in generalities here. If any type of God can exist, and you can't just say that it's illogical to say that any God can exist because you have to prove that using a reductio of some kind. There's no way you can prove that with somebody with reductio. You just can't. And I don't think
I think the reductio makes God illogical.
what makes a God illogical?
Are you talking about the idea of gods in general, or are you talking
Yeah.
about the omni-God?
Gods in general.
Why are they
Why?
Well, I guess more so the omni god actually.
Well, if you're saying more so, then you're including the other ones. So how do you
Well-
get the other ones?
Okay, well, we'll go with the omni god because
All right.
I misspoke there. But I would say it makes him illogical because the reductio on ad absurdum on an omni god is there has to be omnier gods.
I don't think that's true either.
No. I would.
So in other news,
you're
Stephen, I get
trying
to
to say
battle
that-
G-Man.
By the way,
The ontological argument, I think, is what you're trying to criticize there, but the ontological argument has the word maximal in there. So if
Yeah.
there's something that is greater or more omni than the God that is imagined by the ontological argument, then the ontological argument would then just be talking about that God.
Sure. and I think if you word special pleading into your argument or word it out of your argument intentionally, that doesn't really get rid of the logical problem.
What logical problem?
It's
Are you talking
still
about the
special
contradictory between the omnis?
pleading. Yeah, it's still special pleading.
Oh, that's a different. That would be different than like saying that something would be omnier, right? So, it wouldn't be special pleading in that case. I don't know where you would find special.
Yeah,
pleading.
hold on. We'd have to go back and define our terms here. I think we're getting a little too far off.
I was
Yes,
talking about the
you were
same
telling
God,
the
right?
news, Steve?
no. You please, please.
No, this was your idea. So you announced to the world what we're going to have to be doing.
So I guess we just found out that Drunken Peasants is going to be doing a 24-hour marathon of some sorts. They want Kyle and I to come on to confront G-Man and some of the things that G-Man has been saying, and I said that I would.
Yay! I'm
So
excited.
this is going to be a huge event because I don't go out of my way to talk to G-Man. People know that I don't nothing to do with them. However, I have to be realistic and I have to be reasonable to the fact that because he's somewhat still around, he has to be smacked down every so often. Like a wart. You just got to like cut it off piece by piece kind of thing. And we've done that. He's starting to grow back a little bit, so we just got to like cut him down the size a little bit. So I'm very than happy to go on to Drunken Peasants.
Isn't he
and
already
show
cut down the size? Like
Steve, I
what needs to be
recommend
done?
using liquid nitrogen. That's
Really, he talked shit about Steve the other night on the Altered Perspective, so that's why Steve's going in for the kill.
Yeah, he just got a lot of stuff wrong. And again, I'm going to be going.
So there's more to clear your name than to.
No, they don't. These guys aren't.
Like,
gonna
who's going to believe G-Man
Nobody.
about you? Just like
No one.
No one.
let's be okay. So why are you
G-Man.
engaging G-Man directly, or are you
Yes,
talking
yes.
about G-Man somewhere?
For the fun of
Why?
it.
Going for the
For the fun of it.
Okay, well, for the fun of it, fine. As long
Yeah,
as you
there's
don't
no-
think that, and as long as you don't think anything productive is going to happen.
No,
Oh hell no! This
Okay.
is totally
on,
just
just
to smack the shit out.
that's why I'm smacking him around a little bit. Come on. He said I was his punching bag. I'm like, okay.
How do you think that we
Right.
get out our frustrations? I mean, we have to have fun too.
That's just pure comedy gold.
One of
do you
the
have-
three Fs.
Do you have a nice lambast coming in again, Kyle? Because the last one was pretty good.
I don't know if I can top that first one. I kind of blew my load on that one. I think.
Put some effort into it. I think you got it in you.
All I do is effort.
Just drink more pineapple juice, from what I hear.
That doesn't work. That's not true.
So,
I
yeah,
love you, Jim.
It's
I love
not
you.
true.
I'm just
Not true.
definitely looking forward to that. You know, like I said, I know that G-Man just says some of this stuff for the sake of the argument, but you know, the fact that I'm not gonna lie, I'd like beating him around a little bit. I mean, I've done so on previous videos. One of my more popular videos is the meltdown that G-Man has, and I'm very good at it. Kyle's done it. Kyle enjoyed it. He's a
Steve.
statistical motherfucker like I am.
Remember who's listening. But when we said beating, we did not mean physically beating. We meant in the like an analogy, like
In the biblical sense.
They don't
correct.
understand
Thank you,
it.
Jim. That's even better. In the biblical sense, we meant it. Okay, so
Is that
Yeah,
really
like
a
an-
win,
like
though?
an-
Beating
like an
the
exorcism.
man?
just want to make that clear.
Yes.
It's
Like
the
an Exodus
opposite of the
21, nobody
I think he
makes
wants
sense.
the opposite of the biblical.
Yeah. The biblical ones, they actually contact was involved. I don't want to touch G-Man.
No,
When you say something's in the biblical sense, it means like
I'll
as
be-
vicious as possible.
No, it means
I'll
it
be,
wasn't real.
I'll be getting up a lot sooner than a couple of days. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, I know it was you want to beat, and it's in the hangout here, but
Yeah, but am I Hebrew or non-Hebrew? That's the question.
I don't know.
Well, if you're in the Bible,
I'm not
I
lying
want to
right
know
now.
that.
I'm
I
not
wanna
lying
know.
right now. On my screen, at least, your hand is pretty much, if it continued out, would be right on Kyle's crotch right now.
You know what? I'm completely fine with that. I have
Like right there.
Yeah, just
a little over to the left.
Yeah, like
All right, there we go.
right there.
That's
You like slow small circles or big?
I don't
big,
know if that's subliminal,
Can you
coincidental.
trace your lineage back
look,
to
look. I'm so flustered right now. I can't even act.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm doing this. I don't even know what that does. Is that something?
Steve's gonna have to play elementary school teacher here and split up the problem.
I don't want to explain.
all wax on and no waxing off.
He hasn't caught the 3 notes that I've passed during this entire thing.
That's literally waxing off, Jim.
Yeah,
No.
wax on and you have wax off. As we explain, though, it's best to at least have the wax off because we like it clean down there.
Well, I don't know when I wax off and nothing's clean.
Did anybody get hit with the purge? By the way,
I had a 20 on mine.
Which purge?
not
What's a
bad.
purge?
The YouTube purge.
I was going to ask that earlier, but I got stepped on. But yeah, I got 20 on mine. Other channels had like 88. Some people had. Jimmy had 113. So, and because he was talking about that, by the way. So,
Well, you know, YouTube is horribly pro-Mormon, so they probably got rid of all of his anti-Mormon stuff.
All those great cartoons.
I am the I did a scam, one of those scamming things where I went back and forth with somebody from another country trying to give me money, and I swear I literally sitting here just got another one. This one is she is the Minister of State Petroleum in UAE. I write to solicit for your partnership in claiming $47 million from a financial home in Cambodia.
United Arab Emirates, really?
yeah, I've been over there.
Same here.
Listen to this. Furthermore, as Minister of Petroleum, I am not allowed to be part of such of these deals because it's against my country's professional practice policy. So the Minister of Petroleum is personally emailing me to tell me about.
You should send that to CNN. It's a big news story.
Do people fall for this shit for real?
Well, again, the reason they do it is they want to get the outliers, the ones that don't have false positives. They want to get the people that are that most crazy to actually not recognize this bullshit.
I don't believe that kind of crazy exists. I don't believe that level of crazy exists.
They do. Have you
My
watched the show,
stepdad's
Kyle?
mom is in her 70s, and she gets these Facebook requests from these people dressed up like soldiers, like American troops, and wanting money, you know, to send home, to either send home or to come home or something like that. And they tell her that they love her and they're going to marry her when they get out of the military. And she's been supporting one guy for like 4 years, and my stepdad Steve, he's just been telling her like Mom, you need to stop that, like stop, and she's like, no, he loves me, it's fine.
Oh, that's
It's just-
awful.
and
That's
it's,
heartbreaking.
it is. It's
That's
awful.
disgusting.
I've seen
It
it happen.
is.
It
It's
does
awful,
happen.
awful.
Yep. We've had shipmates fall for that crap. Sure.
Oh
I wonder
yeah,
if we could
man,
get a court to give you like custody of her
there was
finances.
one guy on the
based on
Providence. We made port in Manila in the Philippines, and we were probably about 120 knots out, like coming out from the Philippines. And I guess he was hot racking. He was a machinist mate. He was hot racking, and the guy who was sharing his rack, his 18 hours was up, and he went to go get in his rack, and there was a little Filipino woman laying in the rack.
What hot racking means, because they're not going to understand.
I was getting ready to say this sounds like a hot story right now. He's getting in his rack and hot racking.
No, hot racking means you have to share a rack.
Yeah. So basically, you have 18-hour shifts, and when your 18 hours is over, you're climbing into a hot rack because somebody just climbed out.
It's about.
Oh, that's used.
Yeah. Well, it's just
Well, I mean, I would always bring my own sheet set. So
your coffin rack is about that wide. Okay, it's not very wide, and it's about the size of a coffin, and you have this curtain, and you basically, and like you said,
it's like a velvet curtain, like a
hot
real
rack
thick
because,
velvet curtain.
They keep it warm for you because but just basically just means that you're sharing a rack with somebody.
Yeah.
Usually, I only do that when you're first.
It wouldn't bother me.
We had those when I was
it
a
would bother
flight
you
attendant.
if you knew that when you laid down, that the bottom of the next bed was about 8 inches in front of you.
It's not that. If you're claustrophobic, you're screwed.
I don't know how hot is the guy that's above me.
Well, it's
you're
not.
rolling dice there, Kyle. Rolling dice.
No,
Yeah, you're rolling dice in a short Yahtzee cup. That's what you're doing.
Here's the question: have they ever failed? Has any of them
That's
ever
like
failed?
sleeping in the belly
No,
of
there's like
a triple
solid
seven.
metal.
Jim, you might remember something like this. We took a 40-foot swell, 40 degree on a swell, and we listed like this. Well, what when you guys think about this, when you have 3 bunks like this, right? What happens when it goes over like this way? You have the top guy holding on for dear life if he's able to even hold on. I rolled out of my rack. I hit the bunk. The middle guy is just plop. He got the worst, I think. But yeah, you get tossed around like a rag doll. And
Can we not give you actual beds? Like, is that not a thing that can happen?
This is
Space.
military.
I mean, yeah, and the if you're hot racking, the bed mattress actually lifts up like it's a frame, and like there's about a 4-inch or 5-inch deep cubby along the whole thing, and it's split in half. And that's for your personal items, your clothes, and everything. And that's
like in prison.
That's literally where you live. And I was fortunate enough to have the bottom rack where you could literally lay down on the ground and roll into bed.
Well, I had a similar, like when I went to prison, like from county jail to prison,
Bottom rack's
totally different experience. In county jail, you get like metal framed bunk beds, like they're just metal frames, they don't sink or whatever.
Right,
but when you actually get to prison, they have these. I don't know how this has not killed anyone, but we're going to talk about this tomorrow. But the springs on the bed, they're bars that run across, and then they have these springs that are pulled. You have to have a special machine to pull them across and latch them on there. But all day long, people are going around to other bunks of people who are leaving or whatever and scourging these springs,
trying to get extra springs.
Oh, they're doctoring these beds, and so it's a ticking time bomb. Like, because they're not using that machine that you're supposed to pull it over, and it's only going to be a matter of time. You get somebody that's a little too heavy on that, and the thing's just going to shoot like a cannonball everywhere. I literally sat there. I had a bunkmate that had to be about 300 pounds, and when he would get on that bunk, it would literally it wouldn't come down to my face like Jim was talking about, but it would come so far down. I was just like, oh man.
Oh no!
He would fall on me.
I didn't mean that the mattress would come down. I meant that there's a hard bottom right there, and that was the bottom of their little cubby underneath their mattress. So it was like a hard bottom. Like I had one of those portable DVD players with Velcro, and I would Velcro it to the top.
Well, I had a soft bottom because it was about 300 pounds coming down.
You had a mirror?
You had a mirror on ours.
That's kinky.
Yeah.
Kinky.
But, you only have about.
He likes to watch himself.
It's not. I would say it's 5,
like
maybe 6
literally,
inches,
like right here, like eye contact.
I could totally do that.
You have very little space available to you, right? So that you may have to make room with that 5 space. So you have to have your perfect uniform. You have to have your shoes. You have to have all this other stuff. But then you have this one drawer that pulls out, and that's your junk drawer. And when they do inspections, they never look in the junk drawer. Nobody gives a shit. I don't remember any time they bothered with an inspection of the junk drawer unless they were looking for a narcotic or whatever. But
I don't know how many times I kept weed in that drawer.
How much shit did you have? I had bizarre shit in there. Even when I left the ship, I was like, what the hell did I keep this stuff for fucking 4 years for? I had no idea it was even in there. The junk drawer from hell.
I don't know how I survived.
Oh, actually, Steve, look, you might appreciate this. I got this from my
Damn. Ooh, Kyle, you're missing out.
I've got him pinned on my screen. I'm not missing out on shit.
I got a pin.
I got my tags.
Yeah. I got my tag. All right, you know what?
I don't do that again in slow motion, please.
I don't have both my tags. I got one tag. I lost my other.
Actually, Jim, you should just go ahead and take it off. Just take the tank off.
No, it's all right. I didn't trim my chest.
No,
no, that's okay.
Neither me nor Kyle will mind.
Sugar doesn't mind
My
either.
room's turned into a fucking
It's
baby.
after 10 we're
Hey,
authorized.
Chris, back the fuck off. I'll cut you, bitch.
Getting warm in here. Hey, what you got there, buddy?
You're messing with his man now.
We're now an Adult Swim,
can we
liquid
share you?
television.
Right.
We're authorized.
I keep mine out as my wallet. So here you go. I'm not gonna show you my social. I ain't that stupid.
It's okay. I'll take your social.
I already
By the
got
way,
it.
If you can read this, it actually says LDS at the bottom. So I really was Mormon. If you guys can you read that?
No.
Not
really.
Don't worry, Steve. No one claims to be a Mormon that never was. That's
Yeah,
not going to
I had a
happen.
dog tag. Yeah, just, we are legit.
So you're not an organ donor, are you?
No, I should be though.
I just feel left out.
Actually, if
you have all these ex-Mormons and not that many ex-JWs.
If you look close enough, you can see that it says Christian.
I'm not looking at it.
Hey, I got out of all the things I've ever done, and people
I gotta
say
sit
that-
down.
people talk about being smug or talk about prideful. I am proud for what I was in the military. Not so much nuke school. I mean, I'm proud that I made it through, but I am proud to serve.
Yeah, I am too.
That and your smugness are not correlated, though, Steve. Just
True.
Well,
But
I don't have my
you're-
text with me right now, but I don't know if you guys can see.
I would
that
be-
ad.
Steve, the fact that you
What
made it
Landon?
through new school,
Right there.
and because
I've got a little gummy box on the wall there.
Hey, you guys ready for this?
Hang on one sec, Landon. What were you saying?
Never mind.
No, go ahead, Landon. You were.
I'm ready.
I was saying no. I was saying the fact that also your new school that the program you're in is an outstanding program.
Very
and they have an
prestigious.
outstanding record.
Oh,
So you should be proud of that.
Are you really familiar with the nuke program? I mean, I know we talked about it, but I didn't know how much you really had familiarity with it.
Who, me?
No,
In terms of the practices, and that's also when I did the assistance on that sub, and saw for example, I was very, very impressed with the nuclear plant on the sub.
It's a lot. It's a lot more math and physics than people kind of realize.
And the fact that I could really go up to anyone and ask them about blah blah blah, and they'd be able to recite. Not look up in a book, but tell me precisely what happens
you
when
can't
this
get the
thing-
better training. I mean, anybody who's been through the nuke program, they have the equivalent.
I love
of
the
a
hat.
nuclear technology degree for all I can consider.
Yeah. So that's why I say that you should feel proud about making it through that program.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
There's a semen joke in here somewhere.
Did you say hat?
I'm
okay.
getting this now.
That's fine.
Now
This
that
thing
one.
is so old. It's ridiculous. This was wide at one time.
Wait, can you fold that in a threefold, or is that one that you keep?
Yeah.
Because what you do is you take the hat, and it's kind of cool actually. You can fold it over three-way, and then you keep it in your back pocket, right? And so when you just pull it out and you put it on, and it keeps that crease. And so when you're ready to put it away and uncover, you just fold it and put it. All this military shit, man, it's cool.
Exactly. And it just pops out. Like you unfold it and pop it.
Pop it.
Guess who just emailed me, Steve? Asgardia just sent me a message or an email saying that today is their happy year day, not 1 year. Happy year day from Asgardia.
Oh.
Do we get to show off hats? Is that what we're doing?
No, Steve and I are
Only if they're cool.
Steve.
Okay, that's a sexy beret.
of a space nation.
I have a thing for berets, so
Well, here you go. All for you, Chris.
there you go.
There's my usual.
Oh, you're wearing that when we have our thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only staying on 8 seconds.
Hey Jim, I feel like you need like a piece of wheat now, and that's all you're missing.
Did someone say a piece of weed? What?
I think it said wheat.
Wheat.
Already there, brother.
Hey, right on, man. Right on.
I'm an
I've
edible.
been there.
The
I've been there since the beginning of the non-sex show.
I'm an edibles person.
Yeah, who has not yet been on the non-sex show here, by the way? Who are you missing?
Manifold.
Who is non-sexified right now?
Peter doesn't know the fuck we are, even though I've known her 5 years.
And Brian.
She didn't. She's like, what's the non-sequitur show? Like, Sugar, where have you been in the last year or two?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've been watching non-sex shows since you guys.
You want the truth? You want the truth?
Yeah.
No.
You left me about a year ago. You just fell off the planet.
I
We
told
thought we
you.
were tight. We were friends.
I don't even know why anybody watches it in the first place.
She's been
Y'all should
talking to
be-
me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been.
I get it now. I understand. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
She said,
I've been gone. I told you. I think
Okay.
I know.
it drove me off.
I missed you.
Hey, I like that jacket,
missed you
Kyle. What
too.
is that?
I
Just
got,
put a pullover.
yeah, it's just like a
Oh,
hoodie.
okay.
I got this
Okay.
at
I thought it was like leather or something like that, something fancy.
no, I got this at H&M. I think it was like
Okay.
$20.
Right on, right on.
Hey, Kyle.
Is that gray or brown plaid?
It's great plaid.
Okay, I was gonna say that it better be because, yeah,
Wow.
that tie would not go with
this,
it.
This is getting hot. I'm going
Somebody
to have
said
to
get
request
called-
pictures.
Somebody said
Hey,
get
Kyle.
busted in here.
Yes, ma'am.
Kyle, was it you? Was it you the other night that when I got the phone call from Hangouts, and
Yes.
you were on the other? Yeah.
Yes.
I just found that name, by the way.
The same one.
Yeah, same one. I just.
I have
found
no
it.
idea who that is. I have no clue who that is.
Me neither.
Our phones both rang. Someone from a specific name called me. Had no idea who it was. Called her too. I answered, but it connected her and I, and neither one of us called each other. And I was like, "No, you called me." She's like, "No, you called me," and neither one of us called each other.
Yeah, and I just found that that name. Strangely enough, it's from Arizona, which was
You don't recognize the name though?
no, but
I don't
Arizona was a big. There's a lot of Arizona crap in the beginning of my.
Type it to Steve. Steve might know who it is.
Yeah,
What?
I'll email
Who's
it
in
to you.
Arizona?
No, I'll email it.
I get bizarre phone calls every so often. I don't answer my phone unless it's a person that I actually have in my phone, which is about four
No,
people.
it was
But
coming from the Hangout.
Yeah, it was a
That
good hangout call
Yeah, that was exactly why I answered it because it was a Google Hangout.
from
call, and
a
I'm like,
specific person that I don't know who this person is.
Me neither.
I mean, it says the name, like it says the name. We know the name of the person, but for some reason it connected her and I, and we had just met the night before. When she was going crazy on me about Jordan Peterson, I thought she was coming back for more. That's all.
No. I can have a good debate, not.
Oh, I know.
not
I'm just
take
kidding.
it personally.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I'm used to weird stuff, so it's.
Well, me and you have to have another Jordan debate. Wow, I can't even. I'm trying to combine his first name and last name. Peterson debate at one point.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that.
Yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of. Have you watched any of the? I don't know. It's like a 12 series on the Bible that he did.
I have not seen his stuff on the Bible. I've read one of his books and seen some of his lectures.
Yeah, they're pretty long. They're about 2.5 hours each, and it starts with Adam and Eve, and it goes on to Cain and Abel, and then it goes on to Noah. It follows it. I think the last one was Jacob's Ladder. And as an atheist, I mean a real atheist, I was enthralled by it, and I was watching.
You're not a real atheist unless you like Dostoevsky's, Crime and Punishment.
You know what,
atheist
I'm
as
not
we
even-
know.
Jordan Peterson is actually in the call. Jordan, can you weigh in on this?
Oh no,
Jordan, Mr. Peterson.
Who's got a good Kermit impression?
Dr. Peterson.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson here.
Here he is right
No,
here.
excuse me.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
What is it we're wanting to talk about?
That's pretty good.
how come I'm not allowed to go into the workplace? How come I'm?
Well,
how
because
come I can't go into
listen,
Stenfield?
If you're a woman and you're in the workplace, I don't know why you're there.
Because you really just want to be home having children.
You need to understand the hierarchy, the
That's
natural
too fucking
hierarchy
spot on,
of,
Ocean. That is too fucking
of
spot on.
humanity. And if you look at lobsters, you'll realize that women don't belong in the lobster.
You know what? That hierarchy argument has got fucking balls, and
But
you
Jordan,
don't understand the hierarchy argument.
Lobsters go through that too.
Is the room you're currently in clean?
Yes.
Why don't we?
Listen, I've cleaned my room.
We're having the same.
17
We're having the
times
same
over.
idea, Steve. We're having the same idea right now.
There's been
we've
so
gotta do
many.
this.
My room is so upside down clean that I have shaken it several times.
I already know.
There is nothing. There is not a speck wrong with here. I can criticize whoever the fuck I want to. You goddamn bastard!
My room's the cleanest. I have the cleanest people cleaning my room, and therefore I have the cleanest room.
We have an idea.
I have the best room.
What's your idea? Tell me your idea. I need to understand. I want to understand your idea from all the metaphysical angles that I can.
All right. So this is my idea. This is my.
Well, I'm trying to listen to Kyle. He's a look.
Jim,
all right,
no one
listen,
listens.
Kyle is a
I'll be first.
homosexual, but I want to listen to him.
That's a hate crime. That's a hate crime.
He is.
That's a hate crime.
I'll refer to you by whatever pronouns I want to. So talk to me.
Yes, Daddy. Yes, Daddy.
See, but that's all. So far, what I'm hearing is all just complete misunderstanding. You're hearing things out of context, and you're not hearing all the things
look,
said.
You're taking Jordan Peterson out of context is the biggest meme in
There we
I-
go.
the great thing about the
Here we
great,
go.
listen, the
Everything's
great thing about Jordan
regurgitated.
Peterson is that he makes more sense out of context than in context.
Next thing you know, you're gonna start trashing hit now.
He says everything but says nothing. He says everything. but
How are
says
we
nothing.
taking? How are we taking him out of context? He's right here.
I'm just
Yeah, I know.
I'm
You're
standing
right.
in front of you.
Ocean, does
I
that
know.
actually
I'm
hurt your
currently
what you do?
You're right.
You just can't understand, Sugar, because you're a woman.
I know.
It just
I
takes
know.
a moment.
And I don't belong in the hierarchy.
Right.
Right.
If you're in the hierarchy, you'd understand.
Unless you're a lobster.
Right.
I have a lobster sitting right here.
If
How
you
dare
have one, that's fine. The lobster can speak for you, but women aren't supposed to be in the workshop. If the lobster can type, then we can give it a salary of $60,000.
You guys know I get accused of being a man all the time, so I'll just lower my register and go from there.
There we go.
Hey, Sugar.
That'll fix
Are
a
you
lot
a
of
man?
problems. But
Yeah, thank you.
Ocean, you fucking killed it, brother.
Yeah, that's killing it. Is
Does
right.
it, does it really? Does it hurt your voice to do that, or is it?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't hurt my voice.
Just the work
much.
makeup
It's
in the
just
workplace.
the only
might give
thing-
me a boner.
Does it hurt your pride?
The only thing that yes, exactly. That's what it hurts. Is my pride.
Do you
My
move your hands
pride
around
is
like he does with the
absolute
little?
What kind of chaos are you trying to introduce into the conversation, Kyle?
I want Jordan Peterson and ASMR.
I'm like the Joker.
He's
Some Jordan Peterson ASMR.
Hey, I've got
Look it up, Kyle. Look it up.
Please.
Look it up. It's gonna
I've
be.
got some wicked K-pop ASMR that I fall asleep to, man. It is my kink.
How do you fall asleep to that? That's so creepy.
It is hard.
Kyle,
It
I
is
wanted-
sexy.
I
That
wanted
is
to
what I
understand
use on
your
road
idea.
trips when I don't want to go to
Everybody
sleep.
else needs to be the fuck quiet and let the gay man speak.
Go ahead,
Hey,
Ocean. Keep
hey.
speaking.
Hey, I thought he already had it.
Wait.
By the way, just remember,
Hold on.
I have one in here, so I have diversity. I've got the gay, I've got the woman, so people can't bitch about me here.
You've got the Batman.
I guess.
How do I share my screen where like you can hear what's going on?
And you got me. I'm a filthy half gay. So
And you have the elderly.
I got the token
Half
bot
gays
guy.
don't
I'm a
count.
filthy half.
And you got whatever I am.
Okay.
Where's the token black guy?
You're yummy.
Let's
No,
do
no,
this.
Chris is the
I
token
don't
bi
think
guy.
that's an orientation.
Oh, wow. Hey, it is one of the pronouns.
Can you guys hear this?
No.
Mm.
Unfortunately, this looks great.
Why don't you just narrate it again? You did it so well last time, Kyle.
Metal ASMR.
I know what it is. Oh, this. You know what? This actually sucks so far. This is really bad.
Really have it?
Yeah,
I
it's
wanna-
pretty bad.
What are the
Nah,
comments
see,
on
I
that?
really
sorry,
wouldn't be
guys.
interested in that. Not
I
at
tried.
all.
What are we watching? Or what are we looking at?
Jordan
I
Peterson.
try really hard not to be condescending, okay,
Oh, hey,
champ?
Kim.
Yeah, look up BTS ASMR. Oh, it'll make you cream. Did I say that?
BTS.
Actually, no.
Sorry.
You know, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Sorry.
Let me show you guys one. Let me show you why I don't like ASMR.
I want to hear Jordan Peterson ASMR. That actually.
We can't hear anything you're playing, Kyle. You gotta like.
You don't need to hear it for this.
Is it the globe one again? Because that was already enough reason.
Nope. Just sit back and be patient and watch this.
I think
don't
Two
wanna be
Girls One
patient.
Cup was the original ASMR.
Oh,
Oh,
tell me if you're gonna play that because I gotta look away.
I don't think he's going to play that.
Thank
Are,
goodness.
are you
Not-
seeing
I
this?
don't think he's trying to get Steve kicked off YouTube.
No, it doesn't do anything like that. It's on YouTube right now, but just
No, that would be Brett Keane.
wait. Hold on. It's about to get really uncomfortable.
Kyle, was your
Ready?
idea about
Ready?
was your idea about Jordan Peterson ASMR? Or was it something else? I can't hear anything.
We can't see it. We can't see anything.
You can't see anything.
We
No,
see you.
he's
I'm
not
just looking
sharing.
at you laugh, Kyle.
Oh,
In front of a green screen.
We're
yeah.
watching
It's
him giggle.
it's
And I don't
adorable.
understand why we're watching him giggle.
did I share the wrong screen? I think I shared the wrong screen. Can you see?
I like how you can just turn it on and off, Ocean. That's great.
Can you see it now?
It's a mixture of imitating Brett Kavanaugh and Kermit the Frog.
It's like an out of body experience.
Oh, what the fuck is happening?
Maybe you're just like really channeling him,
Yeah.
channeling his essence. Because I mean, I'm really getting that vibe.
right,
Jordan
look at your
Peterson
screen. This is
I am
we're all part of
Jordan Peterson. I have possessed
my
Ocean's body.
goodness.
And,
this is lollipop ASMR.
I'm sorry.
every-
Am I supposed to be against this?
Ocean,
I
every
think that I'm 200% in favor of this.
Ocean,
Oh, that's
every time you
lolly
come back-
porn.
Ocean, every time you come back to your own body, do you feel like you hate women a little bit more?
Just a little bit, just a
300%
tad
in
more.
favor
I do
She's an
find that
she's an amateur.
I think that like
Her-
after Jordan Peterson, after I channeled the
her
essence of
eyes,
Jordan
though.
Peterson, and then I stopped, I do feel like a slight urge to save
That's a
Western
filter.
civilization.
What the fuck is that?
It's a filter.
Lolly
is what that
porn.
is.
That is not lolly porn.
Well, it's
Well,
lolly
I
ASMR.
mean, it's
I'm pretty sure
it's-
that is the definition of lolly porn. She's
like
giving
it's
a lollipop a blowjob.
Really?
it's like
Because
it's
this
like
isn't what
lolly.
I got when I
Well-
looked up porn earlier.
Well, this web became non-safe for work.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
Demonetized.
innocent.
I
It
literally
is so
just said
innocent.
I don't think. I literally just said I don't think Kyle's going to try to get you kicked off YouTube, and then
It's on YouTube
Wait,
now.
wait. What
I'm
did
gonna
it
make a comment
say?
on
It
fire.
said
Oh,
pause
wait.
it. What?
Hold on, look. Giant worm ASMR. What is happening? What is happening to our
Oh,
society?
Jake and Finn. She's got Adventure Time. I can't be mad at her.
Look at this. Look at what's happening right now.
I
What
don't
is-
want
what
to
is
do
that?
anymore.
Why do they make a?
Look how much
Oh my
subs
God.
they get too out of
I'm
this.
so
Uh,
triggered.
I
I
need-
hesitate to ask, but how many views does this video have?
I need an adult.
Half,
Does she
Wait,
have
I've
a
seen this
half a
It has
million.
500,000?
She's got 60,000 subscribers.
Where is she going to
Jesus
put that?
Christ.
Where is she going to
Um,
put that?
In her mouth.
There's a
Anywhere?
gun one.
Can I get?
What is that? Yo, I'm like freaking out right now. What is happening?
How?
I know. I'm nervous for her.
This is what YouTube was created for, people.
As long as
Kyle-
it goes in the
Anyone
mouth.
that big.
Kyle, you'll never be able to go on YouTube again without seeing all of these.
This is just a
videos.
natural evolution.
So,
of-
so I want to know: is this person a
Ouch.
strong atheist or a weak agnostic?
She's an agnostic, clearly.
That's an atheist.
An atheist.
Oh my god, I cannot
Yeah,
do it. I'm literally
I
dying
don't know.
right now.
With that little. I mean, I don't know. She's got to be a slipsist.
That can only exist in a world. God does
slipsist?
not-
What's a
A
slip?
solipsist.
God, you
A
got to pronounce shit
solipsist.
before you to start like making jokes about it.
I did I not pronounce it?
How
No,
drunk are you?
What did I
Listen, I'll
say?
tell you.
Solipsist.
And we
it's okay. Solipsism isn't real anyway.
Well, no,
Okay,
but-
listen.
No,
120,000
I
subscribers
wasn't
on this
saying
one.
ism, I was saying
120,000
is.
subscribers.
solipsist.
2.8 million views on this.
Solipsist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way,
No.
there's only one solipsist. That's me. There can only be one. If you think about
No,
it.
It's like
Why is
Highlander.
the emphasis on the second to last vowel like every other normal freaking word?
I
We
can't
need to
believe you
work
just-
on the word colloquial.
Except for the
too.
ones that don't.
I can't believe you just know real-
Colloquial?
Yes,
Colloquial.
there we go.
You know what? You need to work on the word.
By the way, it's completely naturalistic. I know where that conversation was went
Smith-
before that.
You know what?
Smitty
I learned both of those words from reading books, not from listening to other people say them.
Steve
Uh-huh.
just no real solipsisted me.
Yeah.
Smitty
It's,
says she must be an
it's actually
atheist because she
colloquial.
clearly needs Jesus.
Colloquial.
Colloquial.
She's rubbing.
Colloquial.
Colloquial.
Wait, what does Jordan Peterson have to say on the
Colloquial and
pronunciation?
Wait a minute, she just had a
Listen,
popsicle
the
a second ago.
pronunciations of words is-
Yeah.
I know she did.
Objective.
Listen, There are 3
She,
million views on this video. 3
Sounds
million
like-
views watching a girl scrub wood against her teeth.
no,
That's it.
no. You missed the part where she made the sweet stuff disappear.
I'm getting a new job. This is where I'm going.
Telling
I'm
you,
gonna do
Sugar, you're
this.
in the wrong field, man. I'm telling you.
I know. I know.
I've told you this for ages, but you didn't listen to
Let's
me.
watch one
All
more.
right. All right.
Wait,
well,
okay.
it's time.
Why do I even try getting
Okay.
it?
Ask
But
me-
honestly,
Yeah,
what's
no,
the
not
point
Anna's
of that?
fault.
You have a perfect YouTube handle, Sugar.
Chipmunk
Yeah,
ASMR.
Somebody look at
Yeah.
Sugar, can
Are
you
you
say
asking the point of that, Manifold? The
Yes.
point of
Well,
that
no. Right.
It's
Wow.
Skull Kitty ASMR.
No, but
It
like,
appeals
okay,
to
no, hold on.
pervy
Hold on.
guys.
Hold on. Everyone has access to Pornhub. What's the point of that? Like, does that get anyone like
Pornhub doesn't
like,
have
if
that
you really
video
want to
on it.
rub one off,
Hey,
go to
hey,
Pornhub. You're
yes,
not going
there
to
is
find
a
someone.
Safe kink. I guess.
Pornhub, every single time I go on Pornhub, I find hot singles in my area. Every
Okay.
time.
That is not pretty.
I mean,
what
what's
she's
the
doing.
point of just watching someone just
Sugar.
mouth
It-
a popsicle?
it-
like,
it-
okay, is that I can find way
people-
hotter things online.
I
Well,
use
with the
It's a
ASMR,
kink, man.
with
Sugar.
that, with the ASMR, there's the noises that go to it. It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
mouth,
but
the
ASMR, like,
smacking.
if you're serious about it,
It's
it's
a
supposed to
response
relax
back.
you, not supposed to give you a hard on.
it's a
where you
response
wanna
I
rub
like
one
the
off.
I like
Right.
the ones
Not-
where they
It's
where
a
they
response mechanism. Sugar,
Can-
real quick, can you do this for me? Can you say epistemology using ASMR, please?
Epistemology.
Oh yeah, I'll be back in a little while.
And
Really,
Manifold,
That's what
that
Steve
would-
needed.
if you
Yo,
really
I
want to
thought
we were banned from using that word.
Yeah, that just killed whatever it was that I had.
Oh, that worked for
Well,
me. What are
well,
you talking about?
Manifold,
My
if you really want
epistemology
to know,
is
I
bigger
think
than yours.
I think a lot of people derive a lot of more enjoyment from this kind of stuff than porn.
This is
because
happening.
they get a chance to view the women as more innocent than somebody in porn. So it's
What the fuck is innocent about this? Look at what she's molesting a banana.
Right. No, that
No,
yeah,
she's not-
that
is
just
a-
looks.
that is a
Now,
convincing
now,
banana right there.
I understand the point
Right.
of ASMR,
Listen,
but this
clean-
to me isn't ASMR.
But with
for, like,
That banana needs an SJW right
He's
now.
a germaphobe.
I mean, we
She's
also
clean-
we also saw
Oh,
Ray Comfort molested.
Oh,
bananas.
fuck.
Yes, we did. Ray Comfort.
you get to-
that
the difference
that's-
between porn and that banana right there is guys get to pretend that she's never
No.
been with anybody else and they get to be the banana as opposed to porn where you have to
Yeah, you have
I'm
to.
trying to
Who's that
philosophically explain it.
delusional?
You have to
Oh,
be
man.
compared to
This-
the guy.
This video is like the beginning of Bambi. Like you think, oh, this is gonna be a great movie, and then just out of nowhere, just boom, main character gets shot dead, like right in the credit scene.
Yeah.
Like the thing is though, she's not
Like
even
Finding
she's not even
Nemo.
eating the banana sexy. She's actually
but
literally just
Oh.
eating the
It's-
banana.
It's
Look
not
at
She's
about
eating it
the
like
lips.
an animal,
Sexy,
like
though.
you're supposed to hold the peel for the entirety of the banana.
No, it's about enjoying watching her eat. That's the point.
No, it's about how it fits in your hand,
Oh, I could
actually,
probably
Well,
and how God made it to fit.
Right,
I
right.
can enjoy this
Love it.
girl.
Well,
And he
Love
pointed it curved towards the face to make the whole process easier.
Wait,
This
is this
girl's
the
hot.
video or is this Chris?
Uh
This girl's
That
hot.
was me.
Oh hey now.
yeah, it's not. It's not about looking
She's hot.
sexy,
I bet you she's British. I think she's British.
or
No,
I
I
should
bet
say
she's
doing it.
she's Latin. I bet.
That's a prerequisite.
Hey,
See
the,
that?
the,
Have an
the
accent.
gay one's actually enjoying this one. Let's,
Okay. This one is a little different. Okay.
Hi, Poppy.
Hi,
Well,
Poppy. Hi, Poppy.
Why are we watching this?
I can't look away.
Because we're all horny. That's
I
why.
have a problem.
Kyle has
Sugar, how do you feel about being in a hangout, just sitting here, just watching some softcore?
We were
You know what?
talking about
I
whether or
was-
not God, the concept of God, was rational, and
Yeah,
now
this
we're
is way more
watching
entertaining.
This is
Sugar,
godly.
someone lick-
I worked
You
with
could do this.
I worked with firemen and cops and for 25 years. Like male stuff. If you don't think I walked through the station and there was porn playing like a million times, it just doesn't bother me.
Every time I was at the firehouse, and I was a firefighter. Every time I was at the firehouse, I have never ever seen porn being played. I don't
Yeah,
know what
we-
kind of firehouse you were at.
yeah
California.
I can't say about a firehouse, but I know
don't
in
know
pea
whose
huts,
story to be
when
skeptical of now.
you're overseas, you guys think they're being sneaky. Fucking not. It's like go use the shower like a civilized person. You
Yeah,
fuck
right.
Oh,
No,
here's-
no,
here-
don't.
here's the
Don't
thing.
use a shower.
This
Where,
is so
where
natural.
else would you, Jim? Where else? Give me one.
Anywhere
place.
that I'm not stepping barefoot.
Why is she so close to the camera?
You're on a
she's
fob
farming it up.
on the border of
Goodness.
Pakistan. It's either the shower or someplace you can get shot at. Your choice.
Yeah, the shower's fun.
Not necessarily. I mean, 'cause chances are you're on a fob. I mean, just go behind one of those little plywood sheds, or they usually have shitters. I mean,
The audio from your after shows and your hangouts with these videos playing. Yes.
People never make it this far in these videos.
hey, Kyle, is there any way that you can make
Christy,
these
I'm
videos
in, Christy.
your green screen backdrop like permanently?
I don't know if I could do a video. I could probably.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, Christy starts this kind of channel.
Christy and I are starting a channel. She just
Yeah.
offered. So Christy and I are going to start this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Christy.
Can I
Christine would
get
be
can
awesome.
I get in on like an investor level?
Yeah.
All right. I'll buy like 20 lollipops.
That girl was hot. That girl was hot.
Yeah, hot.
Just
I'll-
like
I'll
5%
put
of
in
the profits.
gummy worm. I'll put in the gummy worm.
to be honest, I could do ASMR, just regular ASMR, right? And I could do mukbangs where you're eating regular food. But in all honesty, that lollipop stuff is a little too much for me. I just look like a whore. I'm not really one.
Isn't that the goal?
Yeah.
No.
That's the goal. It costs a lot of money to look this cheap.
It's an investment, though. It's an investment.
I feel like I need a cigarette after watching that. Actually.
Yeah.
You?
I feel like I can go for another round.
Stamina.
You can do
that's
that
what I
on
like
your
to
own
hear.
time, Jim. I'm good without any more of that. That did nothing for me.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah,
Christy goes-
me neither.
It did a lot for me. But
Well, actually,
It-
not to
it-
win.
It's just too weird.
That's hot.
Like the first 10 seconds of that banana video was all right, and then they just got Armageddon pretty
Then she
quick.
snapped the banana. It's just like, oh no.
Does Nacho want to come in and do
That's
it?
not-
And
I
then
kinda
you
like the
held like
creativity.
3 different pieces of the banana at the same time, like my 4-year-old eating a hot dog. Just like, I'm just gonna pull this in as many pieces as I can.
It used to be my penis.
I like this better than. I mean, I'm not a porn fan.
Oh,
You know. Well, I mean, I have nothing against it, and I've spent time watching it, but I don't watch it anymore.
I thought you were
It's
going to
just
say
not-
spend time
it's not for
making
me.
it.
I
Oh,
just
That's definitely no
God,
substitute.
no.
That's definitely
just-
no substitute for it.
I just yelled out that used to be my penis, and then Danny looked at me from across the room just disgustedly.
Like all they hear is your side of the conversation, and every other like
It's
10
awful.
seconds you're like, dick.
No, I have to go back. I have to go back to her with some of these videos and be like, no, this is what I meant. You gotta
Okay. So
gotta
I
hear
used, to help,
everybody else.
I used to help run a philosophy group on campus.
Cheers,
And our rule was every time the conversation devolved to where someone said the word penis, we quit. That was the end of the meeting. We just got up and left.
I would never be able to say a word then.
I have that rule with moist.
It'd be like the world's shortest
Oh,
meetings.
there's nothing wrong with the word moist.
Yeah.
That's-
No
It's a
one
very
should
tinny
ever
word.
say that word.
You're-
ever.
Absolutely not. Oh.
There's
You're
nothing
being
wrong with the word
so-
moist unless it's in the same sentence as chlamydia.
Discharge is
Oh.
the word I hate the most.
Is there such a thing as dry
That
chlamydia?
gleet.
I'm not aware of it.
Don't
I don't
say
like
the word
Uber
gleet.
but
either.
dry chlamydia sounds a lot better than wet chlamydia
He was a
or moist
paramedic.
chlamydia.
He would
Yeah,
make
but
sure
just-
he has the drug access to the correct drugs.
Moister than an oyster.
Nice.
G-L-E-E-T.
Moister
Look
than
it
an
up.
oyster.
Don't they take a long?
You monster.
Don't they take a long swab, like it looks like a Q-tip, and kind of just? People,
Slammer like a clamor.
I'm
Um,
Getting back to Chris's point, don't oysters have the biggest penis to body ratio of any animal?
Blue whale.
Every time you
Yeah,
ask,
and they're like 10 feet long, but
You
they're
haven't seen
in
Mandingo
like
films.
proportion size. They look like a pencil. Like they're like
What
little,
the- 10
but like 12
10
inches around, I think, or 10 inches around, and 10 feet long.
my mic not working because people are just stepping the shit on me.
Sorry,
Sorry,
Steve.
honey.
Oh,
I can't talk loud because it's late. Remember,
Sorry, Steve.
sleeping.
oh, sorry.
I get yelled at. So
ASMR.
I'll do ASMR from here on out. So how many times did you go on Westpac or whatever, and you see people coming back from Philippines or Thailand or whatever, and the line from medical, and you know all of them are there for one thing, and you're just going,
Yeah.
My pee
They
burns.
Oh yeah.
They
Well,
tell you
from
the horror
that's
stories, not
from
like,
any
oh,
port.
fuck no, fuck no, you have no idea what they do to these people. I've heard they tell me these, and I'm like, no, they did not. I'm like,
Okay, I'm
What do
going
they
to tell you
do?
guys a
I'll be
story.
celibate the entire time. I'm happy with that.
I'm going to tell you guys a story.
Uh-oh.
So we go to make port. You know, they got the quarter deck down and everything. We're fixing to go out. Well, before we go out, you know, they always debrief us and they always give us what's called a blacklist. And the blacklist is a list of addresses and places that you're not allowed to go.
Which is the first place
Usually
everybody
because a sailor got stabbed there or got into a fight or got thrown in jail or it's just a bad part of town or whatever. So naturally, me and 3 of my buddies are back there and we're writing down every address that we could that they call out. And those are the places we're going to hit up first because those are, you know, that's where the party's happening. And so we go to this first bar and we're sitting there and we're having a good time and we're really getting pretty drunk and it's just the first bar and we were going to go bar hopping all these different addresses. And right before we left, these 2 girls came up to us and they started talking to us and they were, I don't know how young they were, but they were too young, like way too young. I would guess probably maybe 14, if that. And they were like trying to rub on our arms and like asking if they wanted us to buy them a drink or if we would, you know, take them to a hotel or something like that. And you know, and we're just like, hey, we need to go somewhere. And we said, all right. So we walk out of the bar and we walk down. It's just like a couple blocks down to the next one. And this next one was literally, when I say a hole in the wall place, I mean a hole in the wall place. Like it was a cinder block building with like a hole in the cinder block, a plywood door. Like it was like literally a hole. And so we go in there and we weren't in there 30 minutes. And my buddy Kerry, he poked me and he's like Majors, he's like look. I look over towards the door and sure enough, like those 2 girls come walking right in. And I was like, fuck. I was like, they're gonna follow us everywhere. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I'm gonna go outside. I said, I want to find a cab or something. I said, no, we're gonna get out of here. They said, all right. So I go outside to find a ride, and I ended up having to pee. So I asked one of my other buddies to catch a ride. Well, Carrie's still staying inside, trying to distract the girls until we can find a ride, so we can make a last minute dash. And I get finished using the restroom, and I come out, and he's like he's rushing Carrie, and he's rushing me. He's like, where have you been? It's like, we got a ride, we got to go. So we run out and there's a cab out there. And at this point, there's only 3 of us. One of us had already ditched because they were getting tired of being chased around by little prepubescents. And so my buddy Kerry jumps in the car. My other buddy jumps in the car. I jump in the back seat and I'm like, drive. And as he's pulling away, I slam the door shut and we're running.
Did you just cut out for anybody else?
Your audio is gone.
Yeah, audio's gone.
Audio's gone. We missed the punchline.
Oh, sorry. So I slammed the door and as we're driving away, I hear and I can't figure out what it is. And I'm looking out this back window, and I turn back and I look this way out the back glass, and I had slammed her hand in the door accidentally. She tried to stop the door from being shut, and I accidentally slammed her hand in the door, and she's just running beside the cab, you know, going normal city, you know, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour.
So to say, sorry, you took her home, right?
Just doing her best to keep up, and I don't even know what I was thinking. I was drunk. I opened up the door as we're driving, and she just goes, "Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo." And I feel bad about it, but I don't think we stopped.
Well,
you don't think?
I don't remember anything after that.
Did you end up with a hand in the door?
Was there just
no?
Don't answer that question. Don't answer that question.
No, but it was definitely either like her sleeve or her hand or something was in the door. She was stuck.
Okay, did this story get to any of your superiors, like anonymous?
No,
most stuff in the military doesn't go higher.
No,
the
only time I ever got in trouble from one of my superiors was whenever we went to this Marine bar called the Bulldog, and I didn't start crap, but I guess we kind of collectively started crap and got our asses kicked, and we got the MPs called on us. The MPs came and brought us back to base, and we got all kinds of an ass chewing from our XO and our CO. It was great.
Our place was called Sharks Cove in the Philippines. That
was when
I got threatened with captain's mast and all other kinds of good stuff.
When I was talking about Oklahoma earlier, that the strip club we went to, which was the only one that was in that town, one of the other guys that was in our AIT, he had to be sectioned off in his own area for all the courses because he got chlamydia of the eye after going there.
What?
Yeah,
That's gross.
so he had to be quarantined from everybody else. So he'd come in first.
He took boot camp too seriously. He was trying to eye fuck somebody.
Well, but I don't think you know how chlamydia works because she was clearly eye fucking him.
That's gross. I'm gonna pull some ugly faces, so I'm going off camera.
Sure, you gotta use that. Show that again. That looks cute, actually.
No.
Shut-
No, I just those are hair extensions that I have. So this is my hair.
Yeah, no, it looks good that way. I like it that way.
Eh, whatever. I always change it up. You know, I'm old. I gotta change it up.
But you know what? Let's work at making yourself look trashy. I gotta admit, there's a lot of effort in that. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta get my Botox re-upped.
And me too.
Takes years off you.
Yeah, I've got
That's what I hear.
Would you ever
I've
do
got
that
an appointment next week.
free? Would you allow them to stick botulism in your freaking face?
Yeah, I got it all the time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, when I went to South Korea, I got my lips done. I got Botox. That was about it. I didn't get anything else, but
Oh, I know something else you got done.
yeah, I've had those for years though.
Yeah, but those were expensive.
Those are my girls.
Yeah, those would be proud. You'd be proud of those. Those cost money, man.
They're, you know what? They're almost legal. They're almost 18 years old.
I don't want to know what that means.
How did we get here?
Boobs.
America?
Boobs,
How did
hon.
we get
We're
here?
talking boobs.
I know what they mean. I don't want to consider what that means with them being legal. That's just weird.
Because I've had them for.
I get
yeah,
it.
I get it. Okay, I didn't want to have to explain it.
Yeah.
Well, folks, it's
Pre-existing
been an interesting time. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on your time zone and latitude. And I'll check you folks later.
Sorry for lowbrowing it.
No worries. We went high and low in
chatting.
the middle as well.
I'll always listen to anything that you have to say, Landon. You're
Oh, thank you kindly. And besides,
you guys go high, we go
at
low.
some point, Steve and I will do another show, and we'll. By the way, I liked your summation thing you did.
Yeah,
summed everything up.
And I liked your Jonathan being very precise on it and pointing out some of the minor issues, but they were fixable, and so I'm thrilled with that because
And it made your presentation better.
Yeah.
So thanks again.
Well, hey, you know what? I gotta admit, I'm happy that I remember some shit, right? Because who the fuck uses this stuff, right? So the fact that I could even regurgitate half this crap after all this time, I'm okay with that. I'm thrilled to death that I'm able to do that.
Well done, sir. All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Thanks.
Take care, Landon.
Yeah, I'll be doing some more math stuff. People have been really interested in it. It's not a huge audience, but the people that really want to learn it really want to learn it. So
I like it. I'm the worst at math, and so whenever you guys are talking about it, I'm always looking it up on the computer and reading about it. And
I was doing the physics ones too, because I watch George Newjack. He's an anti-flat earther. He's been on. He's very brilliant. He's
George Lujack.
No, George. No,
that's what I was like. No, not
Lujack. George is I'm not gonna say where he works for because I don't want to talk. But let's just say he works for a very large organization and his engineering is flawless. But his videos are so complicated, way beyond. He gets like 10 people watching, and I'm like, you got to break it down a little bit easier. And so I wanted to do some physics stuff, but I don't want to make it as complicated as he goes into. I just want things simple where people, oh, I get that now. Oh, cosine makes sense to me. Oh, I understand the relationship between, like an angle of applied force versus, something that's like a torque wrench. Like explain how a torque wrench works. That'd be fascinating.
Very cool.
Yeah, that'd be.
I wonder how many people look at stuff like that because. I get this way with digital Hammurabi. I do want to watch his stuff because it does sound interesting, but at the same time, I don't know when I'd ever use ancient Syrian in my life.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's fascinating, but I don't do his studies because I wouldn't ever put it to use. But people find it interesting. Great. I love the way they do their stuff. Does that make sense? I may not want to learn the material, but the way they present stuff that I have seen, they're awesome at it. Fucking A, are they awesome at it?
They're so cute is my thing. Like they're adorable when they're together.
Yeah, she's
and for people who don't want to learn the language, that's what translators are for. So you can always source your own language material, but I mean you'll be sacrificing a very small to moderate level of precision, but to be able to study it for yourself.
Well, some nuance in pronunciation would be lost.
Sure.
Well, anyways, I'm going to bring this to a close because it's getting late.
Before you do that, I've got one question. Yeah. Was there ever a poll between Digital Hammurabi and Dr. Misha Griffith? Who's the best couple?
I don't think we can't do that. That wouldn't be fair. That would break the internet.
I'm gonna vote for Kyle and Jim.
Oh, you've already won that. That's not even.
Wait. Okay, I don't know the context.
I didn't even think we were in the running. That's not even fair, Steve. You can't put us in there.
And it's a threesome.
I did.
Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta have time.
Wait, who?
Yeah,
who's three?
Yeah, who's the three? Jim and I are just fine.
See this?
We're enough for each other. Thank you.
Yeah, even I.
Jim and I are twins. Okay, Jim and I. That's it.
By the way, Jim, somebody already gave us our Hollywood name the other night. We're Kim with a Y. K-Y-M. Kim.
K-Y-M. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna embrace it. Just embrace it.
I'm like Kim Lardassian.
That's actually hilarious. That's actually very funny.
Real quick, Manifold, you said in the live group chat here you have something to ask.
Yeah. I just want to make 3 quick points based on what you guys were talking about earlier, where I wasn't able to be in the chat. You guys are full up, but I really regret missing out on some of that discussion. Let me just make 3 points real quick, and you can ignore them, but I'm going to go real quick to them. You guys, there's a discussion where I think Jim made an analogy between how a fairy making a sandwich in his kitchen, and was it Chris that made the analogy about God creating the universe?
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, they're completely exactly the same. There are 2 stories that 2 different people have told. It's no different. Like even though the extent of the what is done in those stories are different, in the end, it's 2 stories that 2 different people are telling, and it's stories in their minds.
I think it's completely false equivalency, or at least a false analogy, relating very different ontological things.
Yeah, like in the end, what I hear is 2 stories that are being told. I don't hear actually any type of basis for any in those 2 arguments. I don't hear a distinction in the part that, of course, they're the stories are told are different, but there's still 2 stories being told. I don't see a difference there. I want to also comment real quick on
we know people make tea. We know the more likely case somebody has made the tea. We have no idea what created the universe. We have no
right, but you can't make claims. You can't just tell stories because you don't know something. You can tell yourself a story, and that also becomes more plausible because you don't have an explanation.
That wasn't the point of the discussion.
Exactly.
The point of the discussion is the idea of God making a universe illogical.
Correct, and that's a whole different ball game.
Right. So okay. So no, so I just want to make on the math being naturalistic. I don't see how math is not naturalistic based on the fact that it's chemical processes in your brain that's being expressed through other physical processes, through sounds made through your mouth or through your hand writing on a piece of paper. In the end, it's all physical processes that are being expressed. There's no you can't. Like, in my opinion, it's completely naturalistic.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
that doesn't.
Hold on. I can actually, I think, debunk that pretty quickly, because I can write a sideways 8 on a piece of paper, infinity. That doesn't exist anywhere that we know of in nature. I just expressed it naturally.
But the process is but the concept is completely naturalistic.
Manifold. How do you take into account things like gravity as an emergent property? Say when you're talking about certain types of entropic gravities, these are emergent phenomenon. Or you're talking about consciousness, which is an emergent phenomenon. Physiochemical things do not explain emergence.
No, but the way you describe them as naturalistic processes, even emergent properties, or the way humans describe collections of different processes. So
Manifold,
it's no less
try to
naturalistic.
say it this way.
why he
Would
asked-
it be accurate to say that you're saying that when we
I mean,
think
without humans,
about math,
like if there's no intelligent life, there wouldn't be any math. Like there wouldn't be people to ascribe math. There wouldn't be
Platonists
ascribe math.
But yeah, one plus one would still be 2. There would just be nobody to label those things.
Yeah, but how can
No,
the only way you're
there'd be
making
nobody
that
to
claim is
conceive
because
it. It
you're
wouldn't even be a
existing right now to make that
concept.
claim. There'd be no one to actually make
Manifold,
Exactly. It wouldn't even be a concept.
You're all over the place, I think, honestly.
You're
It's
right.
just-
I wasn't able to
Mike
get
would
involved
agree.
in the discussion originally. I was just trying to make.
No, I think.
well, if I play devil's advocate, I think the original was that okay. If we think about numbers, we're still thinking about them. There's still a physical process in the brain that's going 1 + 1. So in that sense, that physical process is natural.
So are you
Right.
saying that the belief in God is natural?
Where else do you
Why would
find
it
math
be
apart
natural?
from physical
Of course,
process?
it's natural. Why would it?
Like in terms of, like as opposed to naturalistic is what supernatural. I mean, it's,
All beliefs are natural. Yeah,
Yeah,
but here's
yeah.
the physiochemical reactions. If you want to get to
All beliefs are
God damn it,
natural.
the next person that fucking interrupts me, I swear to motherfucking God.
Oh, sorry, I can barely hear
Every
you.
time I say something, yeah, because I've got roommates and I got to be quiet. So,
Shut the fuck up.
but you're just doing a form of reductionism, and that is not how you. That's not how you approach these types of philosophical conversations, right? So when we say something like positing a being that created everything, we're saying there's descriptively something that has created these rules to be the way they are. There's nothing illogical about that. Okay.
No.
It's just not God of the gaps, because we're not saying because we don't know why this happens, because we don't have an explanation, ergo God. That's not what they're doing. What they're saying is there is a possibility that there could be a sentient being, just like, when people posit, not intelligence, simulation theory, right? Same thing. Whatever they want to call the creators of the simulation, whatever they want to call the universe, whatever they want to call the people that made the rules or the entities, could be God, could be aliens, could be multidimensional, could be nothing, could be non-existent. People have hypothesized different things, right? These are just conjectures. The theist is conjecturing that it is an intelligence based upon their belief that there's an analogous relationship between things that we've seen being created by things, therefore there's a creator. It's not irrational. Now, do you have to subscribe to that? No, but that's just one possible explanation that the theist is positing. That's it.
Right. So my main kind of problem with that is that, in my opinion, gods are a subset of fictional characters in the same way fairies, demons, ghosts. So the only knowledge any human being has of a god are in written mythological fairy tales. And now, because for some reason we put God in a kind of privileged position, we ascribe more powerful ontological properties to God. Now all of a sudden gods are creating universes instead of wizards. Why aren't fairies creating the universe?
Because people
Why aren't demons creating the universe? Because
I'm going to answer this question. Because people haven't spent thousands of years debating whether fairies created everything. There's a main question. The great debate question, does God exist, has been philosophically asked for centuries, for thousands of years, by some of the greatest minds have sat and wondered about this question. They haven't sat there for thousands of years and debated fairies. How there's an argument to make.
Right, because it's a special pleading for God.
No, that is not.
There's not special pleading. I don't like this. Yeah. I've heard that criticism a lot. I don't understand.
What they mean. But here, look at, there might be something to fairies. It might be something else. But the reason being is because we're going to have a discussion on this. DMT people see mechanical elves. They see fairies, and they see very similar type of constructs. Most people that try this drug have experienced the exact same entities.
Also, may I point out
Wait,
something
okay,
that
no, but so the entire okay, so
actually,
the
can I
entire
point this out?
the entire mythology of gods are no different than fairies and demons.
Why?
Okay,
In the past,
manifold,
in
I'm gonna
the
point this out
you know what?
quickly.
Hold on, like I'm not able to finish my point. All the
I wanna wait till
stories
he's
of
finished what
gods
he's
have
saying.
been originally, explanatory for natural causes, things like that, volcanoes, stars, things that you're saying that we can falsify things like fairies because they explain naturalistic things. We know who creates sound, which is so there's no reason to posit fairies. So all of a sudden we're because we have such a special connection to gods, we want gods to be so true. We're trying to make them as unfalsifiable as possible, and making them as the creators of everything. If we had such emotional attractions to fairies, we could posit them as creating everything. But because we're theologically analyzing gods for 2,000 years, we have very advanced philosophical arguments for God specifically, but only because we have this psychological connection to gods, and we're trying to make gods as unfalsifiable as possible, because we realize that we're constantly falsifying where gods are existing. They're no longer in mountains, they're no longer creating weather patterns and crops and stuff like that. So now all of a sudden they're creators of the universe, and all of a sudden this makes gods much more plausible than any other fictional subset of characters. All of a sudden, everyone knows that Yahweh is fake. Everyone knows that Allah's fake, or all the other gods are fake. But we don't.
Everybody knows that Yahweh is
about
fake.
wizards.
Manifold, you got to finish your point. You got to finish your point.
Or you're
Yeah,
rambling.
it's because
we don't have these discussions about, like, we know Gandalf is a wizard, but just because we know Gandalf doesn't exist, we don't have arguments. Well, wizards could
What does that
exist.
even mean?
Well, wizards could exist.
Okay, I'm
These are
shutting
just
Hey, all right, my
mythological
username is
fantasy.
Ocean the Wizard. I exist.
Okay, look,
Right.
there is nothing. The only thing that separates my coffee pot fairy or my coffee pot elf from a creator god is the argument ad populum. You're saying that just
No.
because that
That's not
2,000
argument ad
years
populum.
debating-
God
Hang
damn
on,
it.
hang on, hang on,
That-
hang on.
nobody brought that
And-
up against you.
Well,
You were
it
routed
was,
on this,
it was
like-
my
like
argument that
30
he
minutes
was
ago.
purporting.
Jim, we never once argued ad populum.
Nobody said ad populum to
guys
you,
keep
and
using
you were
fallacies.
routed on that.
Nobody said ad populum. I said ad populum.
You're saying ad populum, so you're bringing up a
identifying
straw
an
man
argument
now.
ad populum.
Stop bringing up a straw man.
Yeah,
I'm not bringing up a how
Yes, you
how
are.
am I bringing up a straw man if you let me
Because
finish my
no
point?
one argued ad
something that no
populum
one
against
here's
you.
arguing.
No. That's what he's saying is this is what he's separating the arguments out as.
This is not an
him
unpopular
defining it.
fallacy. Okay, Jim. Ad populum would be Jim. Ad populum would be a theist saying God exists because the majority of the population believes God exists. No theist does that. So you're straw manning theism right off the bat.
How is
No
that any
theist.
different than you saying that for over 2,000 years we have
I'm
debated
not
over
saying
whether
it's
gods
true.
have existed?
I'm not saying it's true. There's a difference.
Okay, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is what makes those claims any more viable than my
something under
claim of
consideration.
my coffee pot
It has
elf?
been a very firm thing that people have considered over thousands of years, and societal influence has been critical of this particular question across the entire history of mankind. It is a very fundamental question, and so
Also,
hang on.
Okay.
You're changing something that's huge, massively in scope. How many people have ever had wars over whether a fairy exists or not, or if a teapot circling around the earth or the sun ever existed? No.
Well,
I think the analogy is completely different here.
But you're arguing from anthropology.
now you're discreating.
Okay, wait.
Hold on.
I've been trying to get a say in here for a while.
Well,
Sorry. I think the silliness here is just we're trying to make these analogies and everybody's trying to argue against the analogies. Let's just get to the point.
How do you think the gods came to exist in the first place, especially the pagan gods? Ocean, you of all people should know how the pagan gods, especially the
They're
minor
the
gods,
ultimate
came
identity
about.
politics and standard bearers for ancient societies.
Exactly,
Now,
but it started off on an individual level, and in pagan Rome, you had your own individual gods. You could have a god of a tree, a god of a mattress, a god of a shoe. It didn't matter. You could make your own god, and nobody's god
Talking
was
about, like,
more
household
valid
gods
than
and that kind
anybody
of thing?
else's.
Like land
okay,
rights and stuff?
Ocean go, and then can I go afterwards since it's
I'm
directed
trying,
at
to,
Ocean?
I'm trying to understand what this guy's criticism is, but so far, because what he said doesn't actually affect anything.
You're not involved. If you're not involved in the discussion,
Right. That's why I'm like, hey, let him finish. because he's brought up my religion as an example. I want to address what he's saying, but I want to have
Well,
him
no,
finish it
I'm not
first.
bringing up your religion. I'm just bringing up polytheism in general.
I'm
Well,
a polytheist, so
That is.
Oh, okay.
Hold on,
I didn't know that all polytheists adhered to the same dogma.
Well,
we're extremely
If
similar.
we had 2,000
let-
years,
hold
we
on,
could
can we let
belabor
Crystal get a
Lord
word
of the Rings to the same extent
guys,
as belabor the Bible.
Can we let Crystal get a word in
Well,
real quick? Because Crystal really wanted to.
If we're saying that with the passage of time, people holding the same belief gives it validation, then where do you draw the line?
Okay, there's something we have to establish. God is a very simple concept. It started off as an incredibly simple concept. The thing created us.
You just made that
And
up in your
people-
head right now.
Let
How
me
do you know
finish.
this? How do you know this?
God is only simple
Me and Chris are like
by
thinking,
demonstrate that
definition.
God is
You just made it up as a
just
story.
God is not a simple concept.
You just made this up as a story. You're telling me right
what
now.
are you
How
saying
can
he made
prove
this
it's
up?
more
He
than
just
that?
referenced a concept that's a few thousand years old.
God
I
is
can
not.
tell you a story
point.
about Gandalf who
God-
created the universe. Who cares? These are stories. You just told me a
Why does
story.
Gandalf keep
Okay.
coming up?
Hey,
You, I don't know why Gandalf is coming up either, but if you're somebody who actually doesn't care about the
Dude, I let
conversation,
You just told
then
me
fuck
God
off from the
created
conversation.
Fine.
Steve, nuke this hangout. Do the world a favor and nuke this fucking hangout.
No, I want to get a word in because right now
I was trying to
I'm getting
respond to what
legitimately
everybody had to
fucking-
say.
I'm
It's
getting
2:00 in the morning. Who gives a fuck what anybody thinks right now?
When
You're
the,
all wrong.
listen to me. When the polytheist in the
Your
room is
base
the
is
only
wrong.
fucking one that's making sense, it's time to go. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I want to. Can I just say one thing here?
Yeah.
No, I want to hear what Chris
Okay,
has to say.
here's what I want to say to Manifold. You viewing something as fiction does not invalidate it at all. Fuck you.
Well,
That's
and hold on.
my
I
opinion
think
as well.
I think this conversation could be a sorry,
overdone
Kyle.
right there.
I
You
think
making up a story
hold
does
on,
not
hold on,
make
hold
it
on.
real
I think-
either.
Why can't we have a
think this
conversation without?
Yeah, this conversation can
I
work.
can make up as
You're
many
dividing
stories as
position
you
just
want.
everybody
like you're
think-
all like time.
Okay.
Hold on a second,
Turn.
dude. Manifold. The only thing that you're doing, everything that all the criticisms you put forward, the only thing that it amounts to is name calling. That's it. You have
Yes.
provided nothing.
You
have
provided
given
nothing
nothing.
but stories about how gods are creating the universe.
We have 2,000 years of more than 2,000 years. We have
2,000 years
2,500
of
years of
Gentlemen, what are we
philosophy.
arguing over?
We have
ultimately?
2,500.
That's a
We have
great argument.
2,500 years of philosophy
Gentlemen,
discussing this
jump in here.
concept.
That's a great
Most
argument.
of which is pretty consistent going across that
Gentlemen.
2,500 years. If the best thing that you have against 2,500 years of some of the smartest people in the world discussing this issue is it's just fiction, then you can fuck off.
Okay, all right. So here's where we are. All right, here's where we are. Here's where we are. We
how
have
true
these
can it be?
conversations.
Let Kyle go.
Conversations go back and forth, and it's fine. It's great. This isn't ultimately a hill that anybody needs to die on or say fuck you and get upset about. It's 2:00 in the morning, so let's all agree that we all disagree on all of this. And I'll call myself a sexy atheist. Jim can be the hunk atheist. Ocean, you can be whatever you want. Everybody can be whatever they want, and we just go about our night.
I'm an agnostic in denial, apparently.
Fine. Well, that's accurate.
I'm the ASMR atheist.
I'm a 4 foot 30-year-old Asian woman with a 38-inch
Fuck's
breast.
sake. I've dealt with goddamn Brett Keane this week, okay? And I cannot handle this shit, all right?
I'm a man.
Your mother and your father are disappointed in you guys, and you need to straighten the fuck up.
Yeah,
This is a great
pulling your sister's
conversation.
hair.
This is a great
Wait, are you
conversation.
saying
to
I
have.
need conversion therapy here, Kyle?
This is a great conversation to have.
this
It's
point,
just,
I'm considering.
everybody needs to slow down a little bit.
This is like the
Yeah,
old days.
Like
I know-
nothing's being gained because people are jumping in and interjecting new topics and everything else. Like the topic is
I
great.
honestly
We can slow down a bit.
The topic's horrible.
I honestly think it would be great if we picked out maybe 2 or 3 of us and had this in a debate format where we could actually spend a few minutes making our point and then have a response.
I just
Like
like
the non-section.
I just like
Yeah,
discussing.
let's do that.
Yeah, there you go. Take it to the non-sequitur show, and you guys can have it out. I'm in
That'll
this
work.
discussion because, like I said, I think Ocean and Kyle, the two making sense, and this is creeping me out. So I can't have this.
Yeah. Everybody
you
put a
see what you
smile
fuckers
on
made me
me.
do? I'm supposed
I
to be
love
the-
everybody. I love you
I'm
guys.
supposed
You
to be the
guys are great.
happy-go-lucky one. I'm supposed to not make any kind of logical sense, but I'm funny. And you guys made me cross over
funny?
into an area I don't like to cross over.
And I got a friend.
Yeah, Kyle, what were you doing being the voice of reason in this conversation?
Fuck us. Don't
Take-
start with me, Ocean.
Take it out.
I love you all. You guys are great.
No, this is
No
great.
hard
This is
feelings
fun.
at all.
Oh, no, this is fun.
Yeah.
But I
Good night,
got-
guys.
No,
Thanks
Jim.
for the chat.
Jim, don't get me wrong. There are hard feelings for you.